Good evening, everyone. Yes, it is that time of the week again. Hopefully, you have copious amounts of alcohol because it is going to be needed. We are short one typical member this week, as our one, probably the only Air Force guy I actually like, Alan, won't be actually getting some proper rest this evening, as he does have quite the undertaking tomorrow. And him
He
being
got
in the
hit by a
UK,
truck.
it really, Pig.
I said I would tell people that. He knows that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There's a chance people are going to believe you. And if he got hit by a truck, we wouldn't have known about his absence days in advance.
No, I know his daughter, so I would have known.
I believe I could speak for most of the people when I say that nobody believes Pig.
Pretty much.
I second that, I think.
Well,
That's why
I am.
I second both second.
I am leaving it in the realm of possibility of the wayward, childish soul about 10 years old who's just interested in military hardware and such, randomly stumbling across one of our shows, and with Pig being how he is, you never know.
I don't get what that means, but I thought the laugh was appropriate.
You call that a laugh?
That was completely inappropriate, Pig.
Okay.
From William Signs in the chat, Pig knowing anyone's daughter is a scary prospect.
I'm so happy I don't have kids.
We can.
I got two boys. I ain't interested in either one of them knowing Pig.
Are any of them gay?
No.
Oh. Okay. Are you
Damn, shot your chances to hell, didn't it?
Are you sure, Wish?
Oh, Pig, come on now. They've been sheltered in the Missouri Ozarks for the last 10 years. Do you really think I exposed them to news media and Antifa videos?
You know, that is not where I was expecting that comment to go when you first started saying of keeping them isolated in the Ozarks. For some reason, I just started to hear a banjo play in the back of my head after you said that.
I hear banjos.
Yeah.
Keep driving.
There's a shed with a chain link fence around
you're
it.
Missing it. You're missing the blue. You're missing the entire blue string orchestra there, then, because I was hearing banjos, fiddles, a guitar, and a steel guitar.
Oh no! This was one of those deliverance type moments.
Yeah. Robert Pine on the guitar, and I don't know who that kid was out of that movie, but that kid played that banjo. And he did play the banjo in the movie.
Yeah, it's actually good when they can get the things like that right. Actually, while I am thinking about it...
You get the dueling banjos going.
About something.
No. It's other people eligible for the link that are not on the Discord server for various reasons that I need to forward the link along to in case they are available and decide to join in.
Oh, please, Jared, no more sailors. There's too much of them. Too many of them in here already.
It's a 50-50 mix.
Hey, Jared, I have a question.
I might not have an answer that you'll like.
Sometime tonight, can we call Kent?
Oh, but... Speaking of, how did it go with our friend calling him back that evening?
We didn't do that, sadly.
What? What?
Oh,
They did it? Oh, you... Damn. And Nonsec got the information to call him when they had Ned on the show a little late.
But am I allowed later tonight?
We will see.
Okay.
What, did somebody call Phuket Word?
Oh,
Did I get
No,
that right?
His name. Get his name right. It's Fuckwit. Who wants to play long? Who wants to pay long distance to Thailand?
We're not gonna talk about a 3 a.m. pass out.
Yeah, I think I second what one of my dogs just did.
Bart.
No, that was a borderline snore because that one just
Yeah.
really likes to make weird noises as she sleeps.
Hey, I may or may not have
They're
a
both there.
soundboard set up.
Oh boy.
Yay.
I'm just gonna give everyone a sample of my soundboard that I've been working on.
Uh,
I've been
Oh,
compiling clips every once in a while, right?
All right, and finger over the mute button.
Yes, please.
Or do you have a beep button?
Okay. Did you say a beep button?
As long as it's not as loud as mine, because
Yeah.
that's how hard I had to push it.
Here we go. Let's do a beep button.
And delay. See, that's where gotta question your skills. Generally, when you have that sort of lead up, you gotta have it ready to go.
I played it. Did you not hear it?
We heard
Nope.
shit.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. I
We
need to
heard-
play Banana.
To
We heard the sound of silence.
Okay,
Well,
my bad.
well,
Well,
my-
wait.
my long dead mother.
Oh, jeez. Why?
And then I also have this. I will only play this like 5 times. This goes into the archive. Okay.
Too bad we can't hear shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't have it set up. I just have the files, right? I don't have it set up as a soundboard yet. I do have the
Yeah, it's
software.
just weird that you want to say, okay, how about this sound? Click. We hear you click the damn thing and nothing.
Nothing.
No, there's a lot more clicks. Here you go.
Code.
Wait, why
And
isn't that?
Still nothing.
I have to each time I open up. Each time I have to set it there. Okay. It should
Your
be-
skill level is getting closer to Lily here.
Hold on.
Code. Yeah, Piggy debunked me. This is Bob the Science Guy. My shit is weak.
There you go.
Oh, I remember that. I remember when Dr. Bob was on for that.
I debunked him live.
Oh,
I still want the context around that comment.
Okay, so the context, right? I'll only say this.
I'll take it from Burns.
Excellent.
Look, a pig persuaded him into saying that.
No, I corrected it.
Oh, so it's kind of like the
said-
mullet.
I said I had bigger titties than his wife. or it's had something to do with my titties. And then he's like, "You don't have titties." Then I sit down for a second. I'm like, "Bob, I'm 400 pounds." And he's like,
Man,
"Oh,
and I have a bowl sitting right next to the computer of some noodles, and I just lost the interest. I cannot get my meds unless I eat food. Thanks a lot, you jackass. Damn
hey,
it.
Bo." Now imagine a big blackhead
Oh,
on my titty.
don't. It just
And then I pop it, and it's a long noodle
Well,
that
that
goes.
sort of stuff
you-
doesn't gross me out, so you can just quit it because, that doesn't work on me. That kind of stuff. I mean, hey, I've got a blackhead too, once or twice, a couple of places. No, that
But I
won't work.
pop it, and it's just a long ass noodle that goes directly into your bowl.
Yeah, well, go cook it in a deep fryer or something.
yep.
don't tempt him. Don't tempt him.
If I get him to eat it himself,
He'll cinch the few pubic
Oh, he'll
hairs he
probably-
has off
No.
completely.
No, there's look a pig.
Look at my titties.
oh,
You
No,
know,
mine are-
I'm so glad.
I don't know why,
am
but I have
so
the name
glad
Leonidas
I
in
am
my head. but
driving right
no.
now. I am so
Oh,
glad
good.
I'm driving right
I'm
now.
not-
I would be blind.
Please,
I'm so
provide
happy-
some sanity, Sean. Save us.
Yes.
The hell are we looking
maybe.
at here?
We're looking at pig's man boobs.
Kinky.
Wait. Let me get this straight. You asked me in here because you're talking about boobs
No.
on
No,
men.
it's not-
Us
we're-
from Pig talking about his man boobs.
Let's talk about Sean's.
Mine are much better.
look,
Oh, yes,
look,
they are.
look.
Much.
Pig, just because Sean suffers a higher level of gynecomastia or whatever it's called.
Gynecomastia? What the fuck are you talking about?
There's Sean right there.
Oh my god.
There's Sean.
Gynecomastia. There's a huge difference between gynecomastia or whatever the fuck you thought of.
Chlamydia.
Hey,
Gynecomastia. What the fuck is kind of STD do you have?
I've only heard it mentioned on freaking TV commercials. I never knew that was a thing.
Right, sure.
Sounds like a whole lot of chlamydia.
That's what I thought he was thinking of. I was like, dude, I don't have a fucking STD. I have a hormone problem.
It's like 3 port visits to Taiwan in a row.
Sean, can I give myself a hormone problem?
Probably.
You are a hormone
I don't
problem.
think you need more problems,
He
Pig.
is a confused horny problem.
Hey, Pig, just go to Thailand and have some fun. I'll cure up.
Oh, good lord. Let me spell it in the chat so people can get it right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so
There you go.
you know how around a dog's anus, how sometimes those pores get like really clogged, and you have to.
Those are
Do you
those
mean
are.
the
Hang on. Let the breeder who also used to own and operate a grooming salon, thanks to his now wife. I know more about animal anatomy than I ever thought I would. Those are not
One, two,
pores.
four.
Those are not pores.
Damn.
Those are anal glands, and they actually help, quite literally, lubricate the shit.
Yep. Now,
And
when
they
those
get
things clog,
kind of stinky when they
right?
get clogged, and you help them get unclogged, as I've heard.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it myself,
Now
though.
imagine like a really long line of that going into your noodles.
Oh no! See, here's the thing, Pig. If it comes out in anything close to a solid chunk like that, the dog has issues, and you need to go to a vet.
Oh, okay. I feel sorry for my puppy. No, I'm joking. I'm just making it up now.
Ugh.
My puppy's just laying down looking at me.
Well, so we went off the rails in less than 15 minutes. A new record.
That's a new,
You're
academy,
welcome.
new Academy record.
I did it!
Not something to
speaking
be
of
proud of.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be the topic here, but speaking of Academy, Jared, I haven't even read it yet myself. I just found
yeah.
that and put it in the link there.
Yeah,
What the hell?
I saw
Thank you.
that, and let's just say I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I'm curious what the fuck were they trying to do?
Not a clue.
Well, for those who are curious, let's go over here. But there, yep, there it is. And it's from Twitter. From the Twatter.
A twat.
Twats. Well, twatter twat.
So, really short, from the U.S. Military Academy, otherwise known as West Point, the Army Academy in upstate New York. 1 cadet is dead and 22 others were injured after an armored personnel carrier overturned during a training exercise Thursday morning.
I heard about that.
So I wonder, who the fuck let the first-year cadet drive?
Or who was trying to drift?
I'm thinking it was the first year trying to.
An
lift-
APC.
I thought it was 3rd year cadets that were doing the exercise, and 2 officers, right?
Right, no telling.
Well, hey, if it was an M113, I know for a fact that you can drift because I've seen it. It's not the best thing to do because you have to have a very, very smooth surface, but yeah, it is possible.
And the
I don't
roads
want
are
to.
up-
I would rather use a piranha for it, but that's probably not a good thing too either because it has a much higher, a point of gravity. Yeah. So
It's got gravity.
Are we sure it's not gravity?
Gravity? No, droppity.
No, I think the roads had too much sticky, so it was gravity.
Oh, so Pig
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was at 10th Special Forces Group, I was the Battle Watch commander in the middle of the night, and I guess some of the American Green Berets and some French Special Forces got drunk and decided to try to drift a Razor, which is, if you don't know, a Razor is sort of like a dune buggy, and they flipped it over, and that Green Beret is never going to walk again.
Ooh.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, 2 a.m., everybody in the world is in my jock, looking up at my screens, asking me questions that I don't have fucking answers to. Where is he? When did this happen? All that. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. They flipped over their Razor. That's all I know.
And by the way, no, Piggy, he did not reference his jock strap. He said JOC.
Yeah, Joint
So-
Operations Center.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. So when a general is in your Joint Operations Center
It's not
asking
good.
you when, where, and why, I don't have fucking answers for that. I'm in Germany and they're in Africa.
Well, and that is one of those moments where the answer of "I don't know" may not be the best choice.
Well, no, you don't say I don't know. You say, sir, I will find out. That's the proper answer in that context.
Yeah.
And I said that so many times that night.
Yeah, or I will prefer not to say anything until I know further. Yeah.
Hey, Jared.
Yeah.
How evil do you want to be?
Did you?
Very,
You know what?
very.
This show has no bounds on evil. Even
Scroll back in our hangout conversation back to December 1st, and show the evil picture.
Uh-oh.
The evil specific one. The one where you actually replied, definitely evil.
yeah. All right.
Evil.
Oh no! You guys are going to. Okay, so
Remember, there's two pictures. Show the definitely evil.
which actually, easily enough, is the first one.
Right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
And I apologize for nothing.
At this point, I will
Sean,
say
I have an honest question for you, Sean. When have you ever apologized, other than to Reds, for interrupting him?
Oh, I'm not apologizing for interrupting. I don't even do that for anybody.
and so the people inside the chat can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's events. Yeah, I do believe I've seen another picture of that. Just not in that outfit, but a different one.
Mm.
You probably saw the second picture, which yes, that
Scroll out.
Yeah,
well, no, that
what was
is
it,
that
Sean?
is
Was
at
it
the
4
top.
hours of work, I think, with the paint stuff. The
Huh?
paint job was about 4. The paint job was about 4 hours or something, including the hair.
No. This was just one day casually at work.
What? Wait, what?
He's thinking of the other picture.
He's talking about the Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Show the Halloween costume.
No, please don't.
Now,
Come on, I'm horny.
Oh, jeez.
yeah, that's exactly why he's not going to
Yeah,
show up.
yeah, and that's
yeah.
why. There we go.
You know, Piggy, there's a site called Bundlelist.com. I suggest you go there if you're that horny.
You say that like you don't expect him to already know just about every porn site in creation.
Oh, that's on tab 32.
I thought
Well,
it was
you know, I mean,
64.
I gotta hope that he doesn't know all the porn sites yet, because
I've been having to pin. Okay, so tabs get like where they try to put names in tabs. It takes too much area, so you can pin the tab, and then it's just the icon. So I have all my porn sites memorized by icon.
Oh my god.
Oh, you know what? I remember a feature embedded in Windows XP once that enabled you to use a website as a background picture for your desktop.
Yep.
I wonder if that's still available.
I think it is as a widget.
Yeah, most likely, yeah. That way you don't have to have any browser open for it. You can just turn on your computer and there you go.
Yeah.
By the way, this is Williamstein's request.
Oh, nice.
That's my dinner
Ooh.
tonight.
A burger with rat droppings. Nice.
It's a pulled pork sandwich, actually.
yes, let me get more. Yeah, the ultimate cheeseburger is the burger by itself. Okay.
I
So-
think he's
so-
not talking.
I'm listening. Daddy, what are you gonna get me? I want a Happy Meal.
Giggity.
I said
I
meal,
want
not
chicken
ending.
nugget.
Oh, fair enough. Right.
Give me chicken nugget.
Yeah, chicken nuggets from McDonald's and Twisters from Burger King.
No, you
I
gotta
want a McFlurry.
you gotta go with Wendy's for the nuggets.
I have
What do you
never
mean
been
that
there.
the machine's down? I want ice cream.
Mhm.
Why is the machine always down every time I want ice cream?
They're lazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, essentially that's it. They just don't want to refill it.
Wait a second. Did y'all hear me place an order for food? Is that
Partly.
why we're talking about that?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
No, not at all. No.
And I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
there has to be an eating disorder in there somewhere because that was a lot of food.
No, it's just an ultimate cheeseburger. It's the guy. It's the guy taking the order, trying to sell me a meal.
Oh.
And I just want the burger.
Well,
Yeah.
how
Jack in
can
the Box fries?
there be an ultimate cheeseburger? Because there can only be one ultimate cheeseburger.
Huh?
Yeah, a
And we saw
regular
that-
one.
You can't mass produce an ultimate anything.
Right. So it has to just be one. So if you're ordering one and someone in Taiwan is ordering one, who gets the actual ultimate cheeseburger?
Well, when you're comparing it to Thailand, of course it's gonna be here.
Well, of course, because we have the meat, because we have guns and we kill shit.
God, you just made me want to do a parody. We got the meat.
Oh, I just heard something on the radio this
fact-
morning.
that
In fact, I'm going to do that parody in Team Skeptic Honor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
yes.
That was-
But
yeah,
I just heard this on the radio this morning. What country eats the most beef per capita?
America,
Come
USA.
on, that cannot be anywhere else than.
Who got this
You
parody stuck in my
Nope.
head? I want to smack him.
That
Nope,
would be
it-
Cat.
It's not the U.S. who eats the most beef per capita.
Oh,
Japan.
Schrodinger, damn you! Because I was actually going to use that song for "We Got Them" beef, and now I'm going to have to do it. We got the meat.
Yep, beef. The U.S. is number 2. Who's number 1?
I'm thinking Japan.
Nope.
Oh,
And I'm 100% certain I have done this mini back about 20 years ago.
Unless my radio was lying to me, and whose radio would lie to him?
Well, I would trust the radio over a random website on the internet initially.
Well, it's the Rock Channel. I mean, they can't be wrong. It's the Rock Channel morning show. They have to be right.
I'm not so sure about that one. I mean, a couple of them up this way have tried to say that. Well, I actually stopped listening to them because of how retarded the casting ended up being. But
Well, it's Chesapeake. I mean, come on.
it's fair point on that. But still,
It was Australia.
okay, yeah, I could see that.
Yep, Australia's number 1 per capita. The U.S. is number 2.
Well, for overall meat consumption, yes, but when you say meat to
No,
me, I
no,
don't count.
they're going per capita, so per person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Australia
but
is beating us.
and they
But
do eat a
I
lot of
understand-
emu and other meat,
Kangaroo.
but they specifically said beef. Now, I'm just going off what they said. I didn't independently verify this, but
I think
feel
it's
free to Google.
more along. I think it's more along the line of meat consumption, actual meat consumption, versus beef consumption.
Well, I would say the most meat consumption would be Pornhub, but I don't know if that's a sovereign country.
No.
That also depends on the category.
Okay, so world beef consumption per capita ranking of countries. Wow.
Argentina's way up there too.
Yeah.
So data collected in 2016.
2005 is when I did that, Mitty.
Oh, so not as long ago as you thought.
No, but still a long freaking time ago.
So this is world beef consumption by country from, granted it is on beeftolive.com, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But this one has Uruguay as number 1 per capita.
Oh, wow, they weren't even on the list of the other one.
Argentina is number 2. Hong Kong, listed as a country itself, is number 3. So so the U.S. by this sourcing is not even in the top 3.
Oh wow! So like you gotta check your source.
Yeah.
I was going off a rock station. I mean, come on.
Okay, so the thing about this: 10 countries consumed more than 50 pounds of beef per capita a year in 2016. From top to so from first to number 10, it goes Uruguay, Argentina, Hong Kong, the U.S., Brazil, Paraguay, Australia, Canada, Kazakhstan, and Chile.
Kazakhstan's kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
Right, because you wouldn't even think they could afford, in large quantities, red meat.
Or why would they want to eat the quality of meat that they would have? But then again, it is Kazakhstan, not Pakistan or Afghanistan. They are closer to the more temperate region that way.
Right.
So their farming is probably better suited for it.
Right.
But
So the other stands would be eating goat.
yeah, but here's the interesting part. The top 3 in pounds per capita are all above 100.
Oh wow!
Take
And if you don't know, if you have never tried it, goat is delicious.
So
Yes, it is, but I only eat it during Cinco de Mayo.
So here's a
Well, and it has to be grilled.
Yeah.
so
Or, no, it can be open spit cooked. It can be cooked over
Yeah, I
an
was
open
gonna
spit.
well
Oh yeah,
was gonna
rotisserie. Yeah, that's sort of what I meant, like grilled or rotisserie.
or adobo underground, like covered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of like shawarma.
so
Shawarma.
So
shawarma is the food of the gods. It's the best food ever.
So here's a question for you guys. How far do you think the gap is on this one between Hong Kong and the U.S., between 3 and 4?
Probably huge.
I would say
Well,
Hong Kong. They probably eat a lot of beef.
Define huge.
Probably about 100 pounds per person.
Oh, well, so the top 3 are all above 100 pounds per person.
I would say-
So Hong Kong is 100 or more, and the U.S. is less than 100. How?
I'm gonna go 70.
difference, or the U.S. is at 70?
The U.S. is at 70.
Close.
Who can get closer?
But here's a
65.
here's a question. No, here's a question. Here was the question. How wide do you think the gap is?
Well, that would be 30.
Do you
35.
So you think it's only a
Like, check
30-pound
with
gap?
I would say closer to 50.
I would say 100.
Well, the U.S. we eat a lot of chicken over here, so.
But and keep in mind, this was just 3 years ago that the data was pulled.
So
We
I
eat a lot of
joined,
pork as
to
well.
a discussion about wide gaps. Got it.
Bullinator.
I'm gonna stick
was
with
Blitz,
30
not Bull.
30 pound
I see
difference. That's what I'm gonna
I
stay
see
with.
that yin yang symbol.
So,
I miss you, David.
let's. This will be interesting. So,
Well, let's get some other guesses in
Yeah.
there, so I can't just be the only guy that's wrong.
yeah. So we have one guess of
What are we guessing?
a different the
30
gap.
pounds.
Wow, that's a lot of wind noise. There we go. The gap between number 3 and 4 on the list between Hong Kong and the U.S. in pounds of beef eaten per capita.
I said
But
35.
Who would
The
care
gap?
about beef when you've gone bacon?
Per capita.
So per person.
400 pounds.
It can't be
Are
400
we
pounds.
talking about per day, per week, per year?
No, we're talking
per capita per year.
per person,
Annual.
per year. What is the difference between?
The delta.
150 pounds.
No,
It can't be 150.
Why not?
That means because that means Americans would be eating negative 50 pounds per year.
Okay, Pig, you really need to pay attention to the details again. The top 3 countries on the list all eat above 100 pounds a year.
Okay, I just got back, so that's why.
And the U.S. is the
98
fourth?
pounds.
And U.S. is number 4.
98 pounds.
Okay.
Difference, Pig.
Oh.
Let's see.
30 pounds difference.
I already said
So-
30. You can't pick 30.
So same
Okay,
as
31.
Okay.
You don't. You
What
did
is
the
this,
prices,
the
you
Price
prices
is
right
Right?
at me.
Hey, you know what? It can work in this.
Damn it,
I
Pig.
said 50.
50, okay.
Well, I mean, if we're Price is Right in it, I might as well go with 29.
Oh, you fucked me. 32 better be 30. See, that's what I get for going first.
No, Schrodinger. He's on second.
Wait, did I win?
Nope.
Oh, damn it.
No, who's on first?
What's on
Yeah, who's
second?
first? I claim first place.
So we have some offers from the chat. 12 pounds and 15 pounds difference.
I said 35.
And Jay Brown said 35. So here's the thing. You two in the chat, they and them, and Factard. Oh, how little you expect this difference to be.
I mean,
Monk Mayfair, 25 pounds, getting closer. NANA seconds the 50-pound difference. It's not that far, but it is definitely a significant change.
40.
You already said 31.
Well, I want to change my answer to 42.
Nope, you already said nope.
I changed my answer to 42.
It's 42 pounds.
So are we ready to hear the difference?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
starting from Hong Kong, who has a consumption rate of 114.3 pounds per capita, the U.S. comes in at 79.3. So, Jay Brown, you're 35. Spot on.
Disgusting bastards.
I was factoring in pigs consumption into this, so just so you guys are aware.
Well, like I said,
Wait,
we eat a
wait,
lot
Listen, I
of chicken
start
over
off
here.
breakfast with a burger.
Yeah, but
I'm not
if
gonna
you-
lie. Like I
if it
wake
was
up
pork-
and I'll make a burger and I'll put an egg on top. That's breakfast.
Hey, sunrise
if-
burgers are good.
I can understand it,
Oh,
but
yeah.
pork, beef, come on.
Well, the
Now-
thing with the
now
sunrise burger, you gotta cook the egg just the right way.
Oh,
If you-
do y'all have Red Robin where you are?
Yeah, but they tend to
Yes.
screw it up.
Oh no, not the one near me. They cook it perfect. They're the Red Robin near me. It's called the Morning Glory Burger. It's
Yeah, I'll show
delicious.
you a morning glory.
No, not that kind of glory. Jeez.
Well,
no,
you know,
no, that
if you
Does it have a
tip
special
enough,
sauce, Schrodinger?
you got to get the tip just right,
Oh yeah.
in both ways.
Where
You know
the yolk
something I always hated about burgers?
not quite.
No,
Right,
we're not
but it's
talking.
still
We're talking about burgers, not beef tips. Come on now, guys.
Beef
Mm,
tits.
you just had to
God,
say
now
it,
I'm
Dave,
horny.
didn't you?
Now
I
I'm
did.
horny.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Dave, don't get him
Not bad.
started. Damn it. Aw.
After hearing all this, I might have to go watch Star Trek Discovery now just to cleanse out my ears.
Wow.
All that
Hey,
Vulcan
we
porn.
haven't even called Kent Hovind yet, okay?
To improve the pucker factor, yeah. Star Trek Discovery Season 1 would do that. Yeah.
I still haven't gone any further since the last time we talked about that, Jared.
Probably a good thing.
Hey, Jared.
So, yeah, so Schrodinger, they were probably talking meat in general, not beef specifically.
Well, perhaps because they did go back and forth on that, and it never was really clear. And I was doing 80 down the interstate trying to get my kid to school.
Yeah, because I just pulled an article up where they were talking about countries that eat the most meat, so meat product in general, and the U.S. and Australia are number 1 and 2, like damn near neck and neck.
Oh, okay. So that's probably what it was, but maybe she misspoke. I mean, she's, a
She's
news
a
girl
woman.
on a rock station. So, but she's a nice girl. She's been around for a while.
Now,
I have a question.
Actually, our rock station here, FM 99, is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They've been around ever since I can, since I was a toddler.
Since you were just a little boy in your father's ball sack.
Mm,
I'm not sure I could listen to the radio then, but if so, they probably were. Actually, let me look. When did FM 99 come online? Let's see.
Hey guys, I got a question. If I get a really strong magnet and I put it by my throat, and then I swallow another magnet, could I then pull the magnet out of my mouth? Or out of
Probably
my
not.
throat?
No.
Probably
If it
not.
was strong enough, you'd crush your throat.
Yeah, you would probably. Yeah,
Is this a way for suicide?
you would
You don't
probably
know
just create a
if you try it.
hemorrhage.
No, it's a way to get yourself a voice box.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That's if
Well,
you survive.
You wouldn't.
That's right. You can't get a voice box transplant these days. That's true.
It's certainly a creative way to perform a tracheectomy.
But you wouldn't put the other magnet against your throat. You would put it at the top of your mouth, and then maybe.
No. It's put it against your throat, and then you can feel it in your throat, and then you work your way up.
No,
that's not gonna work.
No,
No,
that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You would have to put it at the entrance of your mouth,
Okay.
and then hopefully you would have enough lubrication to make that work.
Oh, don't talk to him about lube.
Even if you could hypothetically get that to work, it would just make me throw up.
Listen, okay, you got to work on your deep throating capabilities.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
Not
it's not
everyone.
Again,
Not everyone has the same aspirations you do, Pig.
it's not the
I
going
don't have
down that would be the problem. It's the coming back up.
okay, so FM 99 has been on air since 1962.
So Father Balzac succeeded. My assumption was correct.
So 57 years then. Nice.
Yeah, they were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the 90s. I don't.
That radio station is older than my dad is.
They were inducted. Let me see if I can see. In the. It looks like 1986 is when they. But it'll went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Now, I wonder why they would put the radio station in.
Just because of the massive numbers, probably, of
There you go.
people who watch.
Got
or
your burger.
watch,
Got your burger for you, Piggy.
People that listen.
Oh.
That's his midnight snack. What are you talking
Hold
about?
on. You could cut a hole in that.
Shit.
Hold on. You could cut a hole in that meat.
No.
Why is there so much salad on there? That's disgusting.
Rabbit
wait,
food.
sorry. No, I'm bad.
Hold on. You could cut a hole in that meat and do.
Why is there
No.
a skull in there?
Hey,
It looks like there's a animal skull in there.
That's cheese. That's Swiss cheese, like a big old thing of Swiss cheese.
Oh, here you go. Giving a varying of sizes.
Okay, there's a lot of those you could cut a hole into. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah, you mentioned that
Are you
one more
suggesting
time,
the
Pig.
production of a donut burger?
No. He's suggesting something else, leading him to have a particular body part cut off
Well,
With
finger
no-
burgers are a thing.
with no anesthesia.
His
He's
little
talk-
piggy.
He's talking about American pieing the burger, okay?
There you go. There's the biggest.
Special mayonnaise.
Okay, so now would that really be a burger right there, or a failed calzone?
It says
that
biggest
looks like
burger.
it might be. That looks like it might be flatbread.
I was gonna say that's more like pita to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Because you probably don't have an oven big enough to make it dough that big.
How many cows went to the creation of that burger, quote unquote burger?
Probably two or three.
Oh, here you go. Here's a good picture.
If
Look
they
at that.
used all of the meat from one, yeah.
Look at them putting the top on that thing.
Oh,
Well, keep in mind, on that one before, I was only considering what they generally make the ground beef out of.
Oh, that.
Yeah, on that one. So you're probably looking, 3, maybe 4 cows. If they just used regular slaughterhouse type style. If they try to use the entire usable meat on a cow, 2.
I don't know. I'd have to get a weight on the meat.
Well, keep in mind, the weight is going to be deceiving because you're also getting the bun and the other toppings. When you have that much surface area, you're probably
Search the
looking.
world's biggest cookie.
No, here you go. They're making it. Here's a picture of them putting all the makings on it.
Look and see if they gave a weight for the meat individually. 'Cause when they try to do that, they usually list it individually.
Yeah,
I did say they were going for a Guinness World Record, so I'm betting that there is some data on it.
Yeah.
From the Guinness website.
Search for the world's biggest cookie.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Or the world's biggest pizza.
The world's biggest ball of yarn. I'm sorry,
No, I want to say
twine.
the world's biggest cookie.
Boring.
Okay.
Actually, look up when The Rock was doing his when he was going to redo the what was it, Conan? And he was doing his
diet.
workouts, his cheat day. Look up The Rock cheat day, and how much he ate on his cheat day that he would do like once every 6 months or so.
Hey, just make sure you don't diss Dwayne Johnson because he's a cool guy. He's really
no, he's one of the most genuine people in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
But what he would eat on his cheat day was what you would eat in a week.
Well, what
Schrodinger got me in a music mood, so I'm going to cut out and actually play around with a bunch of MIDI.
All right.
Have fun, Sean.
Later, Sean.
There you go. You want instead of a burger? How about the steak here?
Oh.
That is
Hello.
That's a 72-ounce steak.
Jared, I'm gonna cut the audio. I'm just gonna cut the audio right there of you having your first nerdgasm.
No, that was a steakgasm.
That was a steakgasm, and that wasn't me. That was Bo.
Is that a brontosaurus burger?
I don't know.
It looks like the beginning of the Flintstones.
Oh, here's your challenge. Defeat that challenge. Holy shit.
Is that the one in Brazil where they did it on the Great Race?
I don't know. There might be. I know there's the one in Texas, the 72 ouncer.
Oh yes, that's up in Amarillo.
Yeah, here it
Yeah,
is.
but
I think this is it
no
right
way to
here.
beat that.
You
Give
know
an
what's
hour.
funny? You know what's funny is that if you actually go into that steak place and you order a regular sirloin steak, it's so thin you can read the newspaper through it.
Damn.
They want you going for the big 72 ouncer because that's their real moneymaker.
Piggy, I found your
And
breakfast.
people-
That is a
People
good looking
for it all the time.
breakfast.
No, that looks like a heart
Three
attack.
people.
Hey, that's my goal. I want it.
Actually,
Put
that's
syrup on that.
Part of that, the best part of that breakfast is the baked beans. Gas.
It
Oh,
needs
yeah.
more potatoes.
No.
no.
there you
that-
You're soiling the meat goodness.
There you go. 3 servings.
Yeah, look up the Rock's cheat day.
Okay.
The
hang on
amount of food he eats.
a second here.
Also,
just
look
have
up the world's
to point out
biggest
that
cookie.
all in all the pictures we've seen so far, something crucial has been missing. No beer.
Ah, yes.
That is
Something
true.
crucial is that this person's using Internet Explorer.
Oh, no, because I don't want to be using my other browser right now.
Yeah, he doesn't want to show off his porn history.
I was going
And
to say the
also, I mean,
problem with the pictures was no titties.
And if it was at least Edge, the Edge browser, that would have been fine because it's actually going to be better than Chrome.
Yeah, well, what it is
Please,
Edge is going to be running off the Chromium engine, which Chrome runs off now.
Yeah, not the Chrome browser, but the Chromium operating system.
Yeah,
which
that,
is weird, but yeah.
I would try to use
And
Edge, but it doesn't want to share within Hangout for some reason.
And I've been using it. It's cool.
Oh yeah,
The
I use it. I
browser-
use it at work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, and you can use Google Meets for it, and etc. It's really good.
Yeah, for some
It doesn't
reason.
suck up any RAM, really.
Yeah, let me stop this. The browser's not playing nice today for some reason.
Oh wow. So I already shared the menu.
Is my edition from last week still on there?
Yes, it is.
I'm not sure if
Genesis
I'm supposed to
allegory.
say
Nibiru is
new
approaching the Jupiter, the Nibiru movie, and Dr. Kethoven, Ancient Tech.
Oh, please.
Jared, we have to do the call now.
So we have a particular flavor. No, because keep in mind, Bible study. We have to wait until after Bible study.
And the dinosaurs.
Oh, wait, Bible study? Where the hell are y'all holding Bible study at?
Oh no. Dr. Dino does nightly Bible study until 9 p.m. Central.
Oh jeez.
Don't ask how I know this. Just trust that we know this.
What did the dinosaurs on the Ark eat?
Each other.
No, they
Yeah.
eat fruit. Come
No,
on,
no,
guys.
no.
They eat fruit,
There you
Where
go.
did this
vegetables.
fruit come from?
There you go.
No.
Here's the Rock's cheat day. Here's one of them. It looks like.
Ooh.
That looks tasty.
Schrodinger?
I would eat the shit out of that.
This is it looked like it's a sushi train.
I
I
think
would
that's
eat the
like
shit
his
out of that.
dinner.
Yeah, sushi or sashimi.
No, those are sushi. Those are
Yeah, that's-
actually. If you want to get
It's
Japanese,
American sushi.
no, if you want to get Japanese pedantic, those are maki.
I just heard so many people cringing. Well, not many. A couple of people that actually know about this stuff, supposedly, that they cringe when people say, "Oh, that's sushi," woohoo, and it's actually sashimi or something. I just don't know the difference really.
Okay.
It's either cooked or not cooked or something like that.
No. So, sushi is the general term for that type of food offering.
Okay.
Your sashimi is just your pure cut of meat. Your typical sushi actually is not a roll. It's actually a mound of rice with whatever protein over top of it. Typically, you'll find the tekka sushi, which is tuna. But then anything that is rolled, either rice inside or outside, those are your maki. So like a tuna roll would be tekka maki.
I know so much more than I did just a few minutes ago.
Right?
Can we talk about boobies or something?
Sorry, I was just typing in the chat there.
Did Jared just ride away on his motorcycle?
No, that was...
Oh, that's what I just heard.
That sounded more like a Harley. Not that I'm an expert.
That was actually a Yamaha Vulcan.
Yeah, still
a Vulcan.
Who the hell is Dr.
Oh,
Pizza?
No, not InfoWars. I see something. Oh, no.
Someone was using it as a GIF, as a joke.
Oh, okay. That's different.
Because the comment is, this is going to ignite every conspiracy node on the internet.
Who the heck is Dr. Pizza?
I have no clue. Ars Technica writer Peter Bright. Whatever Ars Technica is.
So his doctorate is as real as Ken Hovind's.
Pretty much.
Hey,
he
vending
probably
machines
admits it though.
Are so real. Come on.
Patriot University is a legit university. I mean, it has university in the name.
And it has an act, so does everything. Even an office.
So does PragerU, but that doesn't even give out degrees.
So this is Ars Technica right here.
To be honest, does PragerU officially pretend to be a university,
I'm
or
just
is it
going to
just
go ahead and interrupt real quick. I will be back soon. I have to go do some recording.
They like to pretend that they are, but I don't think they officially
Well, the difference is whether or not they're accredited.
No, and they're not.
Yeah, they are not.
Prager is not accredited, and neither is the nonsense where Dunstate got his either.
No, but in relation to PragerU, the difference for me would be: do they claim to be a university or not? I don't think they are. They're claiming it.
Well,
they'd like to try to play it off like they are, but I don't think they've ever actually directly made the claim.
No, they don't. It's purely in the name, and the way they do it is they have a collection of single lessons about topics presented by university professors nationwide.
Yeah,
right.
But I do have to say that the scary part is, I've seen on Twitter people, you talk to people every now and then on Twitter, nothing malignant, just chatting back and forth, and they bring up a quote from a YouTube video, which happens to be PragerU. PragerU doesn't always do their Christian stuff. They've
had a couple of things that I more or less agree with them on, but
and that's the scary part. It's like the serious Poe flat earthers that lure people in by every now and then use some actual facts to kind of seem legit. That's
and
the scary
I don't know
part.
what the law is. Are you in the U.S.? Are we allowed to call an institution a university without it being accredited? I think we are.
No, we're not. Well, they can be an online accreditation, privately funded, meaning for-profit.
Right.
School.
Yeah, I think you would have to be privately funded.
You have to be, but the private funding there comes from the students. That's why they push the students so hard to go get all the student loans they can before they let them sign up for classes. Is to see how much can we milk this for over the course of 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, and look what happens. What was it? ITT Tech.
Right. Well, if you're, for those of us who are vets, if the, when you go to try to get your GI Bill or tuition assistance,
if
they won't fund it, then they're not accredited.
Yep.
It is a very valid question. I mean, I hope that if they're trying to, get professors, etc., to work for them, it would be illegal to come off as a university. But if when they're trying to get students, it wouldn't be. Yeah, I'm just guessing here.
Well, here's the thing, Schrodinger, is that the U.S. military won't, or the GI Bill in general will not fund a school that has had complaints of price gouging either. They won't let ex-military go there either.
Yes, that's true as well. And they will also, and I learned this when I was going to get my my master's degree, they will dissuade you, even those that are available, they will dissuade you from the ones that have a poor reputation.
Mm-hmm. But I would hope that at the very minimum, all fees pertaining to universities, etc., would be would have a government what do you call that, based maximum
Subsidized
fee.
Yeah.
They would have employed a absolute maximum fee for courses, or am I completely?
No, they do have that. They do have that at state-run universities. But the problem is that these kids go in and they go, well, I really just want to party. I just, oh, well, look at that. Lesbian dance art and study, is a 4-year degree, and it ends up being absolutely worthless in the real world.
Yep.
Well, when I went and got my bachelor's degree, of course, I was going through an officer program, so I was still on active duty. And we had to submit our course outline ahead of time and have it approved. So we couldn't go get, the typical underwater basket weaving. Our skipper every semester had to look at our course outline and say, yeah, you can do that. And we were limited to $10,000 a year. And the school, I went to Old Dominion University, which was more than $10,000 a year, but they had an agreement with the school because it looked good that the school had such a big ROTC program. So the school, no matter what we were taking, it just always magically came out to $10,000 a year.
Yeah. There you go, Schrodinger.
Yeah, I think this would.
Extreme underwater basket weaving. Do it without the scuba gear.
Oh, you mean like 2 pictures over?
That was my sophomore year.
Or with a snorkel.
No, go to the next one. Free dive.
Free dive. Oh.
I do believe this is the perfect time to not talk about how much
there it is.
tuition
There it is.
here.
No.
Okay, what's wrong with that
next row
guy?
up and 4 over.
Which one was it?
It's the one in the middle, right there. Yeah, click that one. There you go.
I would weave her basket.
Yeah, I would too.
I don't know. Can't see enough.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you have to leave something for the imagination.
Right.
You can't all be naked.
I've seen a lot.
Oh no! She can keep the swimsuit on initially. It's just one of those.
That's a bad angle.
The back doesn't do it for me.
I could make do.
Yeah.
Now there's your basket weaving That's your poor man's underwater basket weaving.
Yeah. No.
That's the beginner's course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the community college basket weaving.
No, but here's the shirt. Here's the shirt you get.
Now I can understand this basket weaving thing if it was trying to overcome impaired dexterity in cold water, but apart from that, there is no real advantage to doing it, is there?
University of Aquatic Crafts. That is beautiful.
Arts and crafts.
That's nice.
What does it say in that? Oh wait, Jeffrey Weaver. That's the
person name who got it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm calling bullshit.
Oh no, Weaver is a legitimate surname.
Yeah, so. I know. It's just a bit too
coincidental.
Yeah, it looks a lot like my NASA shield check.
No. Wait, no, Kat. There is a huge difference. Your shield check you can actually cash it.
No, I can't. It's signed by they.
They, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
No, or was it agent?
hang on.
Wait,
I'll-
wait.
That
That's
diploma
just-
would be more entertaining if it was printed on Scott's toilet tissue paper.
That says degree of doctor in philosophy.
Could you enlarge
Sure.
that picture?
I'll try.
Yeah, here's my NASA shield check. If somebody could click on.
Yeah.
How do I make show my screen?
There. Oh,
I see it.
We
Yeah,
can do it internally, please.
Yeah, we see it.
Did a mere a mere $1,000? No, wait, that's not a period. That's a comma.
That was early in his career.
Yeah, it was a while ago. That's why I didn't even cash it. It was so small.
2015. Yeah, and it's
Given
not
at
even
Berkeley.
crossed.
We should Photoshop this degree and put Ken Hoven's name in there.
Oh, that would be fun.
Because he would get his doctorate. He would get his doctorate, right, in aquatic crafts.
Yeah, and this thing seems to
Yeah, I
be
never-
quite old too.
No, wait a
This
second.
14th day of
what-
June in the year 1980.
Yeah.
Wasn't Hovind Senior? Wasn't he convicted of a crime?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he went to jail.
Yeah, he is a sovereign. He is a sovereign citizen of sorts.
He went to jail essentially for tax evasion.
Yep.
Yeah,
While it wasn't termed tax
There you go.
evasion, what he was convicted of was the
topless, too.
physical act of tax evasion. They called it structuring because that's what he
Right.
did. Is he did his transactions in
Hey.
such a way to try
Sorry.
to avoid
Right.
the
because
mandatory
he-
reporting.
I was
He
looking
was
at
he was ratted out by a Christian university, nonetheless.
And he made his transactions, all of them below $10,000 because $10,000 was the reporting requirement.
Back then,
Yeah,
now
just
it's 5,000.
just like transporting cash across the borders, for example, through an airport.
Right.
Also,
Okay, that sounds like my kind of
Jesus.
officer.
Scroll down. What's this dude's
what
name?
type of silver?
I don't.
What type,
I don't see the
what type of
problem.
officer?
I'm
Surface,
thinking.
air, or sub?
I'm thinking air.
Assuming the
pictures?
free hugs were available to everyone, I don't see a problem.
it says Navy. Come on.
Well,
Doesn't
of
matter.
course, Navy, let's he's an admiral. But let's scroll down. I want to see this dude's name. I want to see if I
Oh,
know it.
I want to hear a guess on what type of warfare.
Isn't the flag on the right enough?
Surface.
I know you can't see the whole thing, but
I'm
I'm looking
saying
at something.
surface.
Looks like a sail ship.
I don't know.
He looks like
Yeah,
He is a swell.
Yep.
Rear
Yep.
Admiral Jeffrey Harley, President of the
I called
U.S.
it.
Naval War Commission, Newport, RI.
Jeffrey.
That's
Harley.
that looks like
Yeah,
dolphins, don't it?
Yeah, I don't know him.
No,
No,
that's not
no,
Dolphins.
no, that's a surface pen.
Yeah, it's
The
surface.
surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking on a 3-inch screen by 2-inch screen. So
Okay.
Well, it's not our fault that you're not on a computer with two monitors and all that other fun stuff.
you know, Jay, go
Rear
get
Admiral
bent
Jeffrey-
because I was
Jeffrey
on that.
Harley,
I was
yeah.
on that last Friday. I just have to be at work
How
tonight.
often do you have to say sorry? It's too small.
Every night.
Okay, I think it's kind of time to do this. Just for clarification's sake, you've got an admiral, right? That's
Yeah.
a certain type of rank. Then you've got rear admiral.
So
I don't want to go
Yep.
into the dirty part of it, but rear admiral? What the
Okay.
hell is that?
We also
Well-
have Rear Admiral upper half and Rear
Yeah,
Admiral.
there's Rear Admiral lower
Yeah.
half and there's Rear Admiral upper
Rear Admiral
half.
upper half,
So
yeah.
What are they in a horse suit or something?
No.
So
No,
hang
hold
on.
on.
Let's get
One of them can fart.
let's get into the history of the rank structure. Prior to what was it, 96, 97?
Yeah,
The-
they were just.
The
Yeah.
07 rank was not Rear Admiral lower half. It was actually Commodore. And that was your first flag rank.
Now that name for rank is cool. Commodore.
There's also been
That's-
period of times in our
Well,
rank
we
history
still
of
have
Navy where we
Commodores.
did not have 1 stars.
Commodore
Yeah,
is a
and that's
position now,
from-
not a
from-
rank.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a computer.
So if
Hey,
you're
I
A
have
very
one in
old
my,
computer.
I have a
Old?
Commodore 64 still.
it's younger than me and it's still, but yeah. Hey, it works.
So, looking here, your 1-star admiral used to be known as Commodore, now is Rear Admiral lower half. Then you have, so your Rear Admiral, like that guy, is an 08. He is a 2-star admiral.
No, well, no, we're looking at.
When you go back to the article and look, they
Oh,
have
okay.
it as
I thought-
RADM. So he
I was
is the 2-star.
Looking at the old thing, yeah,
So-
yeah. So REML is a 2-star.
So an admiral would be somewhat comparable to a colonel.
The admiralty are your force commanders, your general ranks.
The generals.
Flag star.
In the Navy, the captain is equivalent to a colonel, I think.
Yes.
The way I understood it, regardless of a person's actual rank, the one who has the shit, so to speak, the one who's in control of the craft at this time in space. Damn it, I can't speak.
Okay, so
at the moment is the captain,
we have a title of captain that's given. It's regardless. Whoever's in command of a ship is called captain, regardless of their rank.
Yeah,
but
you
we
can
also have a rank
captain
of
as well.
captain.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of confusing sometimes.
The saying to remember, Bo, is billet precedes rank. So you can have someone who is the rank of a commander, an 05, but be in the command billet that would typically be held by a captain, the pay grade up. So he would be, by position, have the title of captain, but his rank is commander.
Right.
And if
so
there happened to be-
he has command. He has what we call command authority.
Yeah. If there happened to be a captain on his ship for some reason, he would have authority over that captain.
Operationally.
Operational, yes.
Only operationally.
I have been given shifts at the guard post at the barracks where you can actually, give out commands to anyone who comes in, regardless of the rank. But
okay, so when I was on patrol crafts, our PO was an 03. So he was a lieutenant, but he was the captain. So at various times we would have, I know one time we had a 05 chaplain commander come on board. The captain was still the captain.
But hang on. Did you say chaplain?
Chaplain. So
okay, if it's anything like the Danish kind, if it's anything like the Danish, he has exactly the same rank as the person he's talking to. It doesn't matter how high up or low the person is.
So
that's not how the U.S. Navy does that.
Nope.
No. That's interesting that y'all do that, but that's not how the U.S. military does that.
It's a matter of confidentiality and getting people to be at ease when they talk.
When he's performing his religious functions, he has the same rank as whatever he's considered as having the same rank as the person he's performing them with.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's a different distinction, but in general, so he does what he's told, and then in the privacy of some sort of religious function, then yes, I would agree with that. Also, we had an instance where our XO was an 05 and our dentist was an 06, but he still had to answer to the XO because the XO was still his boss.
Yeah,
I think
billet
in
preceding rank.
In the Danish army, I think that a dentist would have a minimum rank of major.
Well, yeah. This guy was I'm talking Navy captain, so an 06. He was a Navy 06, and the XO was a Navy 05. But
I was on an LHD, and we were the flagship.
This was an
fun.
LHD. Yeah, this was an LHD, and our dentist was a 06, and our XO was an 05, and our XO had this gigantic stateroom, and the XO, the XO had this giant stateroom, and the dentist had this tiny little stateroom.
Yep.
Even though he was one rank above.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. But I was on an LHD, and we were a flagship, so that was fun.
Which one was this? I was on the Kearsarge.
I was on Iwo Jima.
Oh, the Evo. Okay. Yeah, I was on the Kearsarge from 06 to 08.
There was a period of time where we had, I believe it was 5 captains on board.
Oh,
yep.
Oh, damn.
That sucks.
Well, yeah, that happens because, at one time we had our, right before I left, our COXO, our dentist, our AMD officer, and our air boss were all 06s. And then we had the colonel from the MU. So we had 6, yeah.
I forgot about him. I don't remember what his rank was on ours. So
yeah, well, the MU commander is always going to be an 06.
Okay, so yeah, I completely forgot about him. So yeah, but we had CO, XO. For us, it was Doc.
I see Jared.
We also had the Commodore was a 06 at the time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Commodore too. So you're going
and Staff was an 06. And I guess the MU commander.
I've never been at sea with an 06. We didn't have a single 06 ever ride with us at sea.
You want a small boy then?
Be lucky. No, is sub fast attack.
We've had a 2-star before, but not.
Jared, you were really a petty officer.
It was kind of funny to me actually when I went and visited a small boy, and their CO was, I think he was a lieutenant.
Yeah,
that was,
when I was on a PC, our skipper was a lieutenant.
I'm so used.
I was second in command as a JG.
Yeah, being around so many higher ranking officers, that was actually kind of funny to me. Obviously, I didn't laugh, but it was kind of funny to me. But
you know what? The amount of power that one human being has is relatively the same. He pretty much says.
Oh yeah, I'm
goes.
well aware of that. That's why I obviously didn't laugh. I was enlisted.
Right.
He would have had my ass if I laughed.
Right, and it's not a whole hell of a lot of difference. Because when I was the officer of the deck on the Kearsarge with over 1,000 people aboard, I really didn't have any less authority than any more authority than I did when I was officer of the deck on the PC with 27 people aboard.
Yep.
If I say right full rudder, guess what? Right full rudder.
Yep. Although having been a deck seaman for a period of time, I will point out that I really, really hate it when the conning officer thinks he can drive and then yells at me for getting it wrong.
Well, and I can sympathize with you, but I can also sympathize when I ordered right full rudder and I got left full rudder as a result.
Okay, that's definitely a problem. But when we're going 20 knots and you tell me right full rudder and don't give me a course.
Well, if you give a rudder order more than standard, standard or more, you have to give a steady course. So
I just decided if I ever join the military, it's going to be the Air Force. Good job, guys.
Well, yeah, you can.
I thought you wanted to join the military.
Yeah.
You can order a slight rudder and then say, and then give a steady course when you get there. But if you order anything standard or more, you got to give us a steady up course. So that was the conning.
The conning officer just gave me right full rudder when we were going 20 knots, and we turned like
on an LHC?
I want to say 40. On an LHD.
Oh wow, that's a big ass rudder
Yeah.
for a ship that big going that fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And he didn't give me a study course. So rightful rudder I, with rightful rudder, about 5 degrees before the course he wanted, he gave me the study course, and then he yelled at me for overshooting by 20 degrees.
well, of course you
I
would
saw that.
overshoot.
I saw a kid doing that once.
Yeah, I haven't. That this was. I'm thinking back over 10 years, but I would say, rightful rudder, stay on course 135.
Yeah, that's what the command
Yeah.
is supposed to be.
That would be the and then
That's
I
what a
would hear
competent
back.
officer would order. Yes.
Right, and I would hear back rightful rudder, stay on course 135 ISOR, and that's how that goes.
And then a couple of minutes later, you'd
but-
hear commanding officer study on course 135.
Right, but in his defense, and here's a slight rebuttal. What should you have said when he said rightful rudder?
Rightful rudder I on what course, sir?
No, you should have said orders to the helm, because
Huh?
he did not.
Yeah.
He did not give you a proper order. Look in the
Oh.
watch officer's guide. Your proper response would have been orders to the helm.
Yeah.
And of course, if you are given an order that does not make sense,
Right. So you say
your duty to to
You say
make
or-
Repeat your last.
right.
Yeah.
No, you say orders to the helm. And at that point, the officer of the deck should have been like, "What the fuck, Kano?" And then he should correct himself. And look, I've been checked by a helmsman before that just said something fucked up because it's the middle of the night and I'm dead tired. Give a fucked up order and here orders to the helm, and I'm like, the fuck, and then oh shit, yeah, I fucked that up, and then say it correctly.
Yep.
So, it goes both ways. Officers aren't superhuman. I think we all know that. Lord knows I wasn't.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the Navy that you can't use the the type of derogatory comments you can use in the Army for captains. For us, a captain has three spots on their shoulders. That's usually a Control-Alt-Delete button from a keyboard from us.
So y'all go by the British standard with the stars.
Yeah,
So-
it's been changed a couple of times, and it's fucking annoying because they've changed it three times within the last 10 years, and it's
Yeah.
ridiculous the way they changed it too. It wasn't even to homogenize it across the, across NATO, so it's stupid.
Yeah, I learned that when I went on the Kuwaiti and Iraqi ships. That they go by the British standard, where an O3 has three. Sometimes they're stars, sometimes they're little just clusters of whatever, but that's an O3.
Yeah, well,
But
I've never.
their officers do fuck all. They sit in the wardroom all goddamn day.
Yep.
Well, when you're talking about the Army, it's the British Army is probably just like the Danish Army, where it's the corporals and up to lieutenant that do all the hard work. Everybody
Yeah.
else just sits back, basically.
Oh no,
That's how
I'm
we
talking
do it.
about the Iraqi and Kuwaiti.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we got on board and we spent an entire day on all these different ships, and the officers we would just sit around and fuck off.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
had servants from Bangladesh that did basically their meals and their kitchen
coaching
staff.
in the at least as I've understood it, in the European tradition, officers lead from behind. So
Yeah, that's not really, and as much as the U.S. gets shit for it, that's really not the U.S. tradition, in my experience.
No, we even on an LHD, we had occasions where the CO was down there getting his hands dirty with everybody else.
Yeah, and that's the U.S. tradition. But I was really appalled when I was on these Kuwaiti and Iraqi ships because so this Bangladeshi guy comes in the wardroom and he's groveling, asking if we want anything, and I was like, yeah, I could go for some water. And he didn't understand my accent, even though he spoke English. He didn't understand the U.S. accent. And the XO jumps up and starts screaming at this guy. That he starts pointing at us and saying, "Look at them. They're officers. They're United States officers. They want water." And like sends this guy scurrying away. And I'm looking at this dude like, "Hey, bro, what the fuck?" Like we. Imagine treating a U.S. Well, in the Navy we call them CSs. Like, imagine doing that to a CS. You'd be up in front of the skipper.
One thing you learn in the Navy: never piss off the cooks.
Oh yes, definitely.
We sent our cooks to culinary arts school. So.
Yeah, we had some great cooks. I had one, and she actually turned out to be, after I retired, she was a friend of mine. We've lost touch, but I would get off watch, outside of normal feeding times, and stop by the wardroom, and she'd make me a sandwich. But that wasn't even really in her. Job description. She didn't have to, but you speak nicely to them. Don't yell at them like some of the officers would go in there and just be assholes. But I always, I was enlisted for so many years, so I would go in there and we were all nice with each other. And so when I got off watch and would go by the wardroom, I could get a sandwich, even though it was outside of meal times.
There's another thing. People talk shit about Mustangs all the time, but at least in my experience, the ones that didn't let it go to their heads were better officers.
I agree with that. And there were some that did. As odd as that seems, like you would think that it wouldn't, but I think that the ones that did let it go to their head had an ulterior motive for becoming an officer to begin with.
Right.
So, yeah.
See, yeah, that's actually pretty likely. That's the way they do it anyway. If they become an officer because they don't want to get bullied by the officers, they convert over and realize that it's the same thing but worse, and that turns them into little bitches.
Yeah.
You remember where you came from? You don't have that problem.
And I would say that I had more fun in the Navy when I was enlisted. It's really, there's really no joy in being an officer.
Yeah.
Because they hold you to a higher standard, don't they?
Only much.
It's just a whole lot more meetings.
Oh yeah, more administration. More administration.
Yeah, there's meetings out the ass, and it's just a pain in the butt. And when I was enlisted, I was an avionics tech, which was aviation with and so that's easier to begin with. And Jared can attest to this, but I would work, do my 12 hours at sea, and then I could go to my rack, sleep for 12 hours if I wanted to. As an officer, you're up when you need to be up, and if that's 20 hours a day, then it's 20 hours a day.
I can pretty much attest to that. I mean, I didn't get that far.
Oh, like a submarine.
I was a signal sergeant. I missed that. I missed being a signal sergeant, but I really, really miss being a private.
Yeah.
Hey, Troy, you remember? Times. Hey, Frodinger, you remember when some of the meetings actually had sub meetings?
No, the subcommittees.
I know what you're saying. we would do this: the pre-meeting, the meeting, and then the meeting after the meeting.
The pre-meeting, the meeting, and the post-meeting.
Yeah,
You know, I always thought it was interesting. We had these German Navy people writing us this one time, and they were observing us, and I found out from them that, like, if I was in the German submarine force, the job I was doing underway would have been done by like a lieutenant or Oberlieutenant.
And I started.
I was at E4 at the time.
Oh yeah,
That surprises them, actually.
a lot of the
I
quartermaster
started
jobs are done by officers too.
Yeah.
When I was I think I started this about the time when I was at JG. So when I was at O2, I started questioning, like, why are we calling this a brief? Like, why don't we call this a long? Like, this is not a brief. This is a long. Like, stop putting it in the plan of the day as a brief. Start calling it the navigation long.
Yeah.
Or the
Why
sit
are we
rep.
in here for 2 hours?
Or yeah, it's a sit rep.
Oh, yeah.
I've been through those. Yes.
Those are fun.
And at one point, I did the math, and I don't remember the numbers I came up with, but I did present them to the higher ups who didn't appreciate it. But I ran the numbers of the ranks of all the people that were in there, the numbers of all the people that were in there, and how long it took, and how long we, on average, got paid per hour, and how much that brief called. And it was in the tens of thousands of dollars in some cases. Because, you know, you would have 306s, the 1005s, you know, 1504s, you know, all the way down to E6s. And we're in there for 2 hours. And it just takes so much time because everybody has something. They have to say the exact thing that the person before them said. It was just fucking nonsense.
Yeah, they don't understand the term asked and answered.
Yeah.
Or brevity.
Yes.
But what is brevity? I don't know that word.
It's that thing that Cy keeps asking for and never getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely not a military term.
Nope.
Except when you're on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want you off as quickly as possible.
Well, no. Initially, they do until you say something, and then they want more information, but you're worried about being too long-winded, so you don't say anything. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. No. That's like what happened to my brother when he was on the ground in Iraq. Him being a medic, he was attached to a couple fire teams, and he heard the radio call for an artillery support because movement was seen atop a building at the edge of their grid. The call came back from artillery to confirm the coordinates. The officer who called in the support did not reply. No, Bo, you're gonna love this even more.
Oh man!
A second request from the artillery to confirm the coordinates. No answer. The third confirmation did not come from the artillery officer. It came from the general. Saying, who the fuck ordered this and confirm it now. The lieutenant who called it in replied, cancel request. It was my own guys.
You know, that's why I love being NCS. That's why I really love it.
So what was the source of the call for fire?
Oh, it was that lieutenant. The lieutenant saw movement on top of a roof of a building that one of his fire teams had just cleared, but he saw movement and it was like, we need artillery support. There's someone up top over there.
Oh, so it's going to be some blue on blue.
Yeah.
This is why you wander around with a pair of fucking binoculars. Seriously.
It was a night. It was a nighttime op. But
And-
still,
Yeah, but
but
he should
still,
have known.
You can still get what you need for that.
but
What was it?
no,
What was
no,
the old song again?
the worst part, right before he called the artillery strike and saw movement, the radio call came in, building this designation clear.
Yeah, so he got his ass reamed for that, like hardcore.
He got his ass reamed
but he
for
did.
another thing too, and this ended up getting him promoted. He decided to be an advocate for what they called IED fishing. You see,
no, that asshole.
yeah,
I think I've heard this one.
that asshole.
Yeah.
His thought process was it was cheaper to replace an E3 or below than to replace a tank. So there were a few instances where there was a
Yeah,
suspected
so-
item, so he
right.
set someone
He would
up
just roll
with a
over it.
grappling hook.
Yep. That's
Now,
fucked
what
up shit.
The thing I don't understand is how easy would it be to just call the guy, your own guys that you knew were on that roof or in that building a couple of minutes ago, to check if they have cleared it? That's the first part. The
Or
second
if they had
part
men
is,
on the roof.
I don't. Yeah,
Well,
and the second part is I don't know when this happened, but for years the Danish army has had infrared reflectors on their helmets.
That's what I was
the,
about to say.
like,
Yeah.
Well, so you could take them off if you needed.
This was
And you
04.
just take an infrared light and shine it on them, see what's going on. And if that wasn't
Right.
enough, well,
Here's
we would also
yeah.
use infrared beacons as well.
All right.
I mean,
Well, you also had checkpoints. So you would say I'm at checkpoint Alpha, checkpoint Bravo, or sometimes we would do football terms. We would say I'm at the
9 yard, yeah.
the 9-yard line, 10-yard line, and they would be pre-laid out as part of our pre-planned responses. So he should have had those papers in front of him and seen
No. He should
and
have
tracking
had that
where his
by
people
heart.
were.
He should have learned that by heart. I mean, the most terrifying thing, most terrifying type of environment you can be in terms of soldiers on the ground in a war zone is inside a city, an urban
yes.
environment. It's fucking terrifying. You have to know exactly where people are. You have to know exactly where you're supposed to not cross a line.
And
Unless
the
you're
worst
actually
part about command is getting your people killed.
And that's actually a very easy thing to do in a city. But then
Yeah.
again, think about back to that lieutenant for just a moment. It's been a thing that I've heard now for 30 plus years. The most dangerous critters in the universe are a second lieutenant with a compass, a first lieutenant with a map, and a captain with a plan.
And sometimes all of the three with a dildo up their ass. Yeah.
Well, they're all trying to get promoted, and some of them have really good intentions, and some of them just care about themselves.
And a promotion.
And that's true for.
I honestly gave two shits about getting promoted. I was more interested in not getting my people killed unnecessarily.
Why do you think I retired as an 03?
See, in the Navy, we're smart.
I thought you made it to lieutenant commander there.
No, I retired as a lieutenant.
Yeah.
I could. They said go to department head school and become an 04, and I was like, no, I got a 9-year-old kid. He's 10 now, but at the time he was 9. I was like, no, I'm done. I did 22 years. I'm done.
Well, at 22 years, we can definitely stick a fork in you, and everybody will be happy about it.
Yeah, I did 9 deployments. I think that's enough.
I think that's plenty.
A lot of aircrafts are still in the air because people like Jared and I fixed them.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that aren't dead because of things some of the rest of us have done. Some of.
Yep. You know, we did our shit, and some of us are still doing it, and you can only do what you can do, and sometimes it's time to punch out.
Yep.
And sometimes you don't realize that it is time yourself.
Yeah, I think if I was still in, I probably would be less happy than I am now.
Well, if you stayed in too much longer, you'd probably got lifer's syndrome and done everything you could to die in position. You wouldn't have made it much past. You wouldn't have made it much past captain anyway.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. I knew an 06 who he retired at 40. Not 40 years old, 40 years in. Yeah, he was.
It is the very rare Mustang that makes captain in the Navy.
Yeah, he was. Well, he started out as a Marine and became a sergeant. Got out at the end of Vietnam. Rejoined the Navy. He made it to senior chief, became a warrant officer. After warrant officer, he became an LDO and went all the way to captain. And he was at, or maybe a little bit past 40 years when he retired.
That's quite the path.
Quite the career.
Yeah,
it's quite the path.
you get 100% retirement at 40 years though. So he was done. Like he doesn't have to work. I don't know if he does, but he doesn't have to.
Your second XO was a Mustang. My second.
But he signed my officer package. He was my CO. He's the guy responsible for making me an officer. Really, really great guy. He'd like the booze a little bit too much, but really great officer.
Yeah, he started as a Marine. You would expect otherwise.
Right.
Period.
I remember one. He was the AMD officer after I became an officer, and he was on the Kearsarge with me. And I remember one time he was up on the flight deck, and one of the we used to call them yellow gear. They're white now, but we used to call them yellow gear that would tow the aircraft around.
Yeah.
One of them drove
ABH.
over. Right, one of them drove over where the XO's stateroom was, and the XO calls up on the radio, and he says, "What was that aircraft that just overflew us?" And this guy goes, "That was yellow gear." Just made him look like an asshole all over the radio because he thought it was an aircraft, and it was just a diesel fucking piece of yellow gear driving over his stateroom. Yeah,
See,
he
In my brain, that's his
disrespected.
problem. If he's been on ships long enough to be the XO, he freaking well knows what that sounds like.
Right.
yeah, this is exactly the type of reason why you always have a digital dictation device or something that can record audio to just keep recording.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
radio.
nowadays I bet people do, but he would disrespect the XO every chance he got because he was so much senior to the XO, and our XO was basically just a fucking asshole. Right? Remember, God, what was the movie with the submarine where it was the comedy?
Oh, Down Periscope. You mean the
Down
documentary?
Periscope. Yeah, remember the XO on Down Periscope?
Yeah, the bitch.
Oh,
Yeah.
the hard charger.
Right. That was our XO. And our AIMD officer was a prior enlisted 06, like that didn't give a fuck, could retire at any second he wanted, and just did not respect this dude at all. Like he didn't overtly like call him out, but he would do things like that. Like when the XO was like,
subtle
what was this aircraft that just overflew us? He's like, sir, that was a piece of yellow gear. And then he would do the it's stupid that I even have to tell you this, like the exhale at the end of, sir, that was a piece of yellow gear. And it wasn't blatant, but it was enough that everybody knew.
Here's what I would have done. I would have given him the X. That would have given him the psi first, and then again at the end.
Yeah, he
Yellow gear.
I would have too, except that the radio would have been off for my size.
Oh no,
I was enlisted, so
it didn't matter.
Sir, that's your paranoia kicking in again. Take your medication.
That part is, I did actually say that to a full-blown colonel one day. That was hilarious.
Yeah, well,
he kind of stared at me, and I walked away. And I came back a couple hours later. He's still standing there.
Yeah, this XO would put a sign on his door. It said that he was at PT, but he would be asleep in his rack.
Yeah.
He would be taking a nap.
PT does not mean physical training. It's pillow time.
Unless you were teaching someone, at least that would have been involving some activity. But
yeah, no, he would take, and on a LHD, the XO and the CO have their office, and they have a bedroom off just outside their office with their own bathroom shower in there. So you could just shut your office door, go into your bedroom, take a nap. But he would put...
Actually...
Yeah, go ahead.
I had the same thing on the carrier, but the one that got me was the sub rack for or was the rack that they had for the company commanders at boot camp. That shit was hilarious.
Oh well, probably you and I are probably from the same day. Way back when they had, what was it? They had the office with they had the rack right in there with them.
Yep, you could put it. At Orlando, what they had is our company commander had an office, and then off to the side there was a little alcove with a door, and that's where the rack was.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Nowadays,
where'd you go to boot?
Oh, I went to Great Lakes, but it was basically the same layout. And nowadays, these things are wholly self-contained. Like it's just one building. They never really have to leave it. They got their galley and everything self-contained inside the one building.
Why am I not surprised by that? And who's just playing Regical?
I went to Orlando as well, Crockett Squirrel, so I know what you're talking about.
That was Bo.
Yeah, it's just this guy. I think I'm sure.
You know what? What happened? What happened to Orlando was completely bogus. They had the brand new ETA school all built up. They never even got to open the building.
Yeah,
They weren't able to open the building. They lost 2 great mistakes because of the fucking hot plant.
Well, it's weird because why did they pick either? Because Great Lakes is a little bit too cold and Orlando's a little bit too hot. Why didn't they pick somewhere in the Mid-Atlantic?
We had San Diego.
Maybe Maryland or something.
There
Or
was
San
RT.
Diego.
There was RTC
Yeah,
San Diego as well.
Yeah. Why did they just keep San Diego? That would have been perfect.
There used to be a recruit training in Maryland.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Why didn't they just keep San Diego as a RTC?
Well, because San Diego was actually smaller than either of the other two.
Oh, so they would have to expand the base.
They were trying to slim all the RTCs down into one, and they had to pick one. But also, San Diego did not have a separate school area for NTC.
So I guess it was probably just the lowest cost.
Yeah, transporting people also might factor in. If they had the most people coming in from that area or from close to that area, it'd be cheaper to bring them in.
Why are we looking at the Flat Earth model?
Why were we looking up in Russia?
Apparently, this volcano is actually set to erupt sometime soon.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the Kamchatka Peninsula.
And when it
Yeah.
happens, there'll be a couple of flippers trying to say that they are doing it in order to cover up a flat earther showing the truth or something.
Right. Unless that guy is actually on top of that fucking mountain, they're not covering up shit.
It's really one of the dumbest things that they've ever done. Just appropriating that model. What did they think they were going to achieve?
So what did they do? Because I didn't see it. What did they do?
They appropriated Google Earth as the flat Earth model.
Yeah,
they said
Google Earth
that's
That is
their model.
that is the most accurate flat Earth model I've ever seen. Then.
And I actually myself spoke to Spurkismo, who is still saying that this is their model.
Google
Yeah,
Earth
but
is
why
based on
even
a
talk
globe.
on-
How does that?
Because
What?
they were using what was it, the height thing?
They're
exactly.
saying that Google Earth is the flat Earth model, and that we just wrapped it around a globe, but it's still accurate.
But
it's just
But it's
flat.
but it's only
If you-
accurate when it's on the globe, not when it's reverted back to a flat state.
But
I was going to point that out. If you're taking something that is normally
try telling that to Spurkismo, because I did today, and
you're
talking
taking
to
something
him
that
is
is
like
normally
talking to a
flat-
rock.
Well, hey, it's useless talking to that jackass because he's not a flat earther.
Why did you bother doing that? That was silly.
If you take something that is normally flat, you wrap it around a sphere, you're going to get stretching.
It's a flat sphere.
So
You have no idea how many times I've explained this to them.
Why didn't you reach out to me for that? Because it would have been really interesting had I showed up. Because keep in mind, when Red had that idiot and Flat Earth Aussie Jesus on, what
I was
happened?
listening.
What happened
was
to
listening.
Skidmark when
Yeah.
I finally got in there and said
he
something?
suddenly got
Hey,
busy.
Jared, come on Jose's show. He Spurkismo shows up on a regular basis on Jose's show.
Which one is Jose?
To do as well.
JG Gonzalez.
Yeah, Jose JG Gonzalez. Daily at about 10 o'clock, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little bit later, but every day he holds a hangout open to all comers.
Who's question? You say 10 o'clock. You need to be more specific.
Eastern.
Okay, so that's like 7 in the morning for me.
Yeah, it typically goes 2 or 3 hours. And he lets anybody on. Well, except he finally, after much counseling from several of us, he finally booted P. Mars.
Oh.
Well,
I'm still not sure what to make of it, but he seems, I'm not saying careless, but he seems indiscriminate in terms of giving people mod status on his chest too.
No. His typical thing is he mods everybody.
That way no one can mess with someone else in the chat.
But finally, what happened was P. Mars came on about 2 weeks ago and just started screaming the N-word over and over and over.
Of course.
Until Jose just had to take the hangout down for fear of just getting wrecked by YouTube. Then he came on. It was a day or two later, and said that it was just he had had enough, and that it was time for flat earthers to start killing globe earthers. And so he took it down again, and told P. Mars, "Look, you're just not welcome anymore." And this is after like 10 times that we had reached out to Jose, because he was just trying to, have a hangout that just anybody could come on and say whatever they wanted to say. but he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't know that people like P. Mars were out there, basically.
Oh yeah.
So
Basically,
finally,
people that are
This
out
is
there.
exactly why I don't give everybody freaking mods in my on my channel.
right?
Well, that wasn't him giving PMARS mods, though. That was him having
That was just him
PMARS
letting
on the
him
panel.
Right. And so today, after he had already said P. Mars was not welcome, P. Mars came on as a what do they call it?
Oh,
Sock
a sock
account?
account.
A sock account, yeah. And his big thing with me is he likes to just come on and call me a murderer. And
Does he have a supposed reason for that, or
military? That's it.
Yeah, military.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was in the military. That means
he is mentally ill too. Not Schrader, but P. Mars.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I don't know. I don't know if he's just having fun, like, or he just wants everybody to hate him. But I don't know anybody that likes P. Mars.
No,
He sounds like an overgrown pile of shit to me.
Oddly enough, there are a few people I know who do, and they are people who are persona non grata.
Oh wow. But either way, so he did that today. So Jose had to bring shut the chat down and bring up a new one, and then only send invites to certain people. But yeah, this guy is a shit stain.
Okay, so
everywhere.
I am making this public word of advice for anyone. If you are in a conversation with P. Mars, a way to really get him to, one, show his true colors, but then rage away and leave the conversation. All you have to do is ask him one thing, and you have to be sure to ask him in this particular manner. Hey Patrick, how's the weather in Fargo, North Dakota today?
Oh.
What?
I don't get the reference.
Background, please.
His first name, city and state that he lives in.
Oh.
He seems to forget that there are some of us who have information that could quite literally make his life painful.
Yeah, because he was threatening Sean Hawkins today with ratting him out and giving his information out.
Well, okay. Here's the question I have then. Did he release that information himself at some point, or?
I have my sources.
Okay.
Well, send it to Sean Hawkins because
I'm pretty sure he already knows, but
he probably does.
But it's one of those things of he likes to play that intimidation game, but when you can play it back and you do, he fucking wets himself and runs away.
Oh no, I told him show up at my house, and I gave him my home address, and that's when he called me a murderer.
How the hell would that make you a murderer? I want to know.
I don't know, but he has my home address, and he's welcome to show up.
The question is, though, in terms of Jose Gonzalez channel. Yeah,
I didn't catch that. Two people were talking. What was that?
I said he's probably afraid of getting his dick stepped on.
Oh no,
he has to have one first.
Yeah, he wouldn't last 5 seconds. He wouldn't get past my driveway.
Oh, but I've been working out, and I don't take roids. I just love eating bananas.
Let me guess. He has more or less the same body structure and size as G quote man unquote.
Probably at this point, because here's the thing. I'll admit I haven't seen him on camera in the last few months.
I have.
But he is not. He is not as fat of a fuck as he used to be.
He looks like 200 pounds of chewed bubble gum.
Oh.
Oh. Loving the reference, but.
Well, hey, Jared, you know, I've got a request for the show. what we need to do is we need to close out every show showing a video of why you are an idiot getting his ass handed to him by a female MMA fighter.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
You know what? While I understand the genesis behind it, and I don't think you're wrong, but at the same time, do we really want to give him any more attention? Because that's what he's driving for, right? He doesn't give a shit about what he says. He genuinely does not give a flying fuck if you agree with him or not. He just wants the attention.
His channel name is almost as ironic as Missing the Mark. Just putting that out there.
Did I tell y'all about what happened with my my steel target?
No.
Your what?
Okay, so I started a second channel, and we haven't even really gotten it off the ground yet, but I started a second channel with MA2 Fletcher. And our channel is going to be basically dedicated to all things guns. And we were going to make a video about shooting steel. So I've got a lake house, or I don't. My family has a lake house about 2 hours from here. And I had a steel target out there. And so we...
I'm sorry. I just found something from Trump. I'll send it to Jay. This is fucking hilarious. Sorry.
So I go all the way out there. You know, I was going for the weekend with my kid anyway. But can you mute, though?
Yeah, it's not me. I'm not making a noise.
that wasn't Bo. That was you wished.
Oh, sorry. So I drive all the way out there. I'm take all my shit, my microphone, my camera, everything. I'm going to make this video about shooting steel because shooting steel is fun as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Get all the way out there. Some asshole stole my steel target.
Oh, rude.
He got hit by the meth head scrappers.
Yeah. Well, left everything else alone. He didn't touch the house, didn't steal any of the firewood, didn't fuck with the boat or the pier or anything. Stole my steel target.
Okay,
maybe he was just borrowing it.
Was the target?
That's the only thing I went out there for was to shoot steel.
Yeah, what was it? A big old piece of sheet of steel, or just a?
Oh yeah, you can go on Amazon. No, you can go on Amazon and get steel targets that are rated for a 7.62 millimeter.
Nice.
Oh, so it's a quarter-inch steel plate then?
I didn't realize Amazon sold those like that.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, and it's a ton of fun. You could shoot them all goddamn day, and the fun of it is it's immediate feedback. You squeeze that trigger, you get a ping. Squeeze the trigger again, ping, ping, ping. Because what do you normally have to do? You're shooting paper. You shoot a couple times.
Also, use the high power binoculars. Yeah.
Hang on. Fuck.
This is Bo's thing, not mine.
And this is not a fake one. This is actually his own.
I understand.
Account.
Yeah, it's the actual. It's the actual account, and here's the thing.
Oh man,
he debunked his own.
Yeah. Because the reason for the 2024 moon missions is to set up the staging base and also test the mechanisms that are going to take us to Mars.
Right. It's an intermediate station.
And also, before talking about going to the moon, he did want to get his own one step for a man moments on the moon.
Oh God!
That's what he was saying in the beginning of his presidency, I think.
See, if you actually read that, if you read it, it looks like he's contradicting himself. He says the moon is actually a part of that, and he's absolutely correct. It's that if you start thinking, "Oh, we're going to go to the moon," and then you might actually just wind up stopping there, and that's not the goal.
No, the entire plan and here's the thing. there have been a couple videos from some of the NASA socials that SciStrike has gone to where they lay out, yeah, we're going back to the moon to test the vehicle platform, but also the staging base. And also, how the fuck are we going to feed people on Mars and en route to Mars? We kind of need a practical way to test it after we develop it terrestrially.
Yeah.
So why not use the moon?
Here's the fun part. Here's actually the fun part. Hey. Here's the fun part of that. This, the moon's makeup is very similar to that of the Earth. It's actually safer to deep mine inside the moon and pull out the material you need to construct the spacecraft to go to the next step, which actually means that it would be cheaper because you don't actually have enough, because the overwhelming majority of the fuel is to escape atmosphere. You don't need nearly as much. It's not going to be nearly as expensive launching those missions from the moon rather than from here on Earth.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things I ever saw, and Jared, correct me if I'm getting the story wrong, but oh god, it was hilarious. I think it was a story, one of the videos where Russian Vids who was talking about the time. He was doing something about the time from the transmissions from Earth to the moon and back, and he was timing it, and he was saying that it was all wrong, but it turned out it was from low Earth orbit.
Oh yeah.
And so microbloganism brings up this visual, and it has the Earth, and it has this little dot like right off the Earth, and he said it said low Earth orbit, and then way over on the other end of the screen it says the fucking moon. They were in low Earth orbit when they were doing that, and that accounts for that time difference. I laughed my ass off at my desk.
Even then, the round trip to the moon isn't all that long. I mean,
at worst it's about 4 seconds. So yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, that's the entire round trip.
Yep.
Yeah, but from low Earth orbit where they actually were,
second and a half worth of delay, and you get the message, they respond, and 90% of the time they already know what's going to be asked for next, so they're just going to respond it. They're going to start their response soon, just in the very moment that the request comes in.
But
and it takes
microbloganism is a funny motherfucker.
Well,
he is
hilarious, and he is a master of the pedantic. So the pedantry is one of his
he is really fucking funny,
and he's a young kid too. That's a surprising part.
How old is he?
Well, I don't know literally how old he is, but you know he's young.
He's mid-20s.
Oh, okay. So sort of like Gio. Sort of like Gio.
Yeah, he and Gio are within like a year or two of each other, if I remember right. And by the way, Tech.
And I know I'm supposed to say Gio, but I can't help it.
That was a great joke, Tech.
Gio Streber. It's not that difficult, you dumb Americans. Gio Streber. How hard can it be?
You know what?
I don't put potato on my mouth. That's why it's difficult.
We're allowed to be dumb. We have the bombs.
and you have POTUS to be a
Oh,
role model.
you know what? You know what? I apologize again. I do this. I do this every Friday, don't I?
Oh no!
I apologize again for our president.
Fuck apologizing for him, especially when at an NRA rally recently, and someone threw a beer at him. It's okay. He was able to dodge it. It was a draft.
No.
You're funny. I'd be willing to bet somebody actually thought that joke was clever.
Probably. Okay. Well, I have to get off for the night, guys. Thanks for hanging out here. This was fun.
Have a good one. Come back next week.
Yeah, we have our moments.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go probably again. 10 minutes or two more beers.
Oh, sorry, guys.
How's the duck doing?
It's been resting. I had to take the car today because I was moving a bunch of shit around. And also, it was probably a good thing I wasn't on the bike, because when I finally was able to start heading back to the house, I was fucking exhausted.
Look at some of the videos from India, and you can put a whole lot of shit on a motorcycle.
No, no.
You haven't seen any of those?
Yes, I have, and no.
Dude,
I've seen someone on a scooter with 10 other people.
Well,
I don't know how they do
it. I have a sad situation with the Grom.
Did you break it already?
No, my nephew wrecked it today.
Well,
he parked
bad?
it. Well, somebody ran over it with their Ford jacked up 20-inch lift kit F350.
That'll do it.
So yeah, the gas tank's crushed. The engine has a massive hole in the piston cylinder.
So it pretty much got totaled.
Lots of duct tape.
Yeah. It's done. It's done.
Super glue.
The guy. Yeah, right.
Super glue, duct tape, and paper clips.
Please tell me it was in a parking lot with at least something of security
Camera.
recording.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? This is General Motors we're talking about.
Oof.
So, needless to say, yeah, the guy did, because security did see it. Thankfully, they weren't sitting there with their eyes closed in an orgasmic moment, which this security company that guards this particular facility has a tendency to do. So his wife,
if he can afford a F350, he can afford insurance.
oh, that he has. He has the good stuff. He's got Geico with absolute everything covered.
All right.
The problem is that it's probably the damage rate's probably going to fall outside of the deductible. So I'm probably going to be on the hook for the replacement of the bike.
No.
Well, you shouldn't
Why?
have to pay the deductible if it's his fault.
Yeah, you put everything against his insurance because it was entirely his fault.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but the problem would be to prove it as well.
the vehicle was freaking parked and he ran over it.
Right.
It was parked in the motorcycle parking, and it happened to be the only bike first shift.
Well, then you should be good, you would think.
Well, and here's the thing. There's a reason why I don't use Geico. They have a habit of fucking their own people.
Yeah.
So if you have his, you should have his insurance information for the claim.
I've got everything. I've already talked to his agent this afternoon. His agent was like, "Well, we're gonna forward this off to claims. What are you gonna do about the bike?" And to me, I was like, "It's in the junkyard now." I took it over to Arlington Motorsports, and they took a look at it and started laughing.
Yeah, well, the insurance company owns the owns the bike now.
Not until
it's claimed. Yeah.
Oh well, I mean theoretically, that's their bike.
Yeah.
It's not officially their bike, but they bought it when their customer ran over it.
So essentially, the only other Groms of the same year do not have what this bike had on it. But they run $500 more than what I paid for the Grom.
So what was on yours that wasn't normally?
I had aftermarket pipes. I'd have to go back and look at everything that was on the bill of sale. But I had I had the oversized knobbies.
No, you can claim all that.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, claim it because my 1800 VTX with aftermarket pipes and highway pegs and sissy seat and all that got stolen. I claimed all that shit.
Well, hey, hell, if you just had your clutch, renewed or put a new chain put on, whatever, claim that shit too.
Claim all that. Claim it all.
Well, the on the clutch, reworking the clutch and clutch pack, yes. Chain, no. Chain and
new one?
Nope. Chain and brake pads because they're consumable
Yeah,
items.
because that's consumable.
Damn it.
But
yeah, I might have fun. I might have fun over the next couple of weeks getting all this claimed out while my nephew goes to Georgia for vacation tomorrow night.
Yeah, I got. You're not going to get 100% like the highway pegs and the sissy seat and all that I had put on my VTX.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get 100% of that value back, but I got a good 75% of it once my bike got stolen. Especially once the sheriff's department confirmed that it was stolen.
Well, part of that is age of the equipment. They do account for depreciation.
Yeah.
However, with how short You Wished has had that bike, if they tried to go more than 5% depreciation, they're trying to fuck you over.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt that, that my bike was a very low, I don't know what you call it. It had very low depreciation per year because
it retained its value.
Right. Yeah. It was the VTX 1800. It was a big fucking ass bike that it didn't depreciate very well.
I've already found a bike that I want, and I need to get with Jared when he's live on AT2 and ask him questions about what I need to look for on this bike.
What is it you're looking at?
Jared's.
You're looking at a monster?
Yeah. it's actually I think it's the 400 cc 499 cc. It's the one rated. In Texas. It's rated as a 500 cc.
Well, yeah. It's always rounded up to the nearest bit, but
what make?
It's a Jared's bike.
Yeah,
it's a Ducati.
Yeah.
What year?
I'd have to go back and look at it. I talked to the guy after I found out about the Grom.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to bail out for a second. I've got bandwidth problems over here, so I'll catch y'all up in a while.
All right, Croc.
There's a thing that I've got to get done. I've got to get this downloaded before tomorrow, regardless of circumstances. So,
by the power of Satan, my recording is done.
Yeah, Peg. Pup. All right, we'll catch you guys up in a while.
See ya.
Anyway,
if we're still here.
The problem that I have. Don't tell anyone. The problem I have, Jared, is it's a salve.
No, that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Good. Like what's
no. It is a salvage title, which means is a rebuilt
I
bike.
thought he said sound.
It got stolen, stripped down to the frame, and the guy bought it back from the insurance company and rebuilt it.
If done right, then no problems. It'll actually probably be even better.
You would think the DMV would be able to handle that.
Well, no. So
they have. He's already got the salvage title in hand, but that's the only hit.
Yeah.
Is that it's got a salvage rebuild title on it.
Yeah, some insurance companies don't like it because anytime you deal with a salvage title or a rebuilt title, as some states call it, you need to retain all the information. Like in your case, since the bike was stolen and then purchased and rebuilt, all that paper trail needs to stay with that salvage title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got all that. He's got the receipts, all of his time that he spent rebuilding the bike. He got lucky. He found it. He found a Ducati with a 500cc motor in it. The motor was running, but everything else on the bike was trashed. So he just bought that bike for the motor. And he went and did the work on the carbs and everything else. He says it runs good. He's supposed to bring it by about 12:30 or 1 o'clock this morning to let me see it. But I'm actually thinking about, because he wants $2,500 for it, and I figure if the insurance company gives me $1,000 for the Grom, I come out ahead on the Grom.
Well, here's the thing. What was the value of the Grom?
Grom was 15.
And with how little you had it, you should get that. So coming up with the extra for an upgrade to the bike really shouldn't be a problem. And actually, you know what? I'm going to look this up.
Just use those extenuating circumstances to talk him down.
Well, he's gonna see me in my 2005 Hyundai Sonata, and he's gonna look at me, and I'm gonna tell him, "Look, all my vehicles got salvage titles. That's the only way I buy a vehicle now."
Okay, so if it's the actual 400, then you're looking. Are you sure it's a 4 and not a 6?
Yeah, he said it was a 500 on that. I don't know what the model was.
It was a 400 bored out to 500.
No, so if he's saying the actual size is a 500, then it because the 600, so the 600 makes more sense because that was actually a more common size, which is a couple years older than mine, but it's going to look very similar. Not exactly the same, but very similar. So if it's a late 90s, it's actually a Monster 600, which the actual capacity is just over 580 cc. They did make a 400, but that was 398 cc, and that was actually generally for the Euro market. They did import some to the US, but not as many, because let's be honest, the 600 and 620, like mine, is plenty. Like, it is manageable enough as a beginner bike, but still substantial enough that you're not going to outgrow it in 3 months. So
but, I mean, it was really funny because I bought the Grom less than a month ago, and I've ridden it all of 6 times.
All right.
And that counts trips to work. That counts the one day I actually got to go out and actually go enjoy a ride.
Yeah.
For $10 worth of gas, and I traveled 300 miles.
Which
wasn't too bad. I mean,
all right. So when are you taking a look at this bike?
Tonight.
Okay. Well, then waiting for me to go live on Moto to have it be related there really wasn't going to work. But here's the thing. I can actually end up clipping this segment out, and we could upload it there as a reference thing, so you can actually have this base information tonight before looking. So you do have a decent flashlight on you, yes?
Oh, please! I work private security.
Just
my secondary weapon.
Just making sure. So, did he?
So good you can see the cum in the hooker's mouth.
Pig, stop.
No, that's true.
Pig, stop.
Stop. Not right now, Pig.
So with the with him bringing it, did he say if he's riding it over tonight or just bringing it over?
No, he's riding it.
Okay, good, because
I told him if it was on a trailer, we weren't even going to talk. I'd send him home.
You can get around that, but if
Yeah,
he's
I've
comfortable,
bought them off trailers. You just gotta have them nice and warm.
No, actually, I prefer them to trailer it over for one reason. You want to see how the bike starts
How they start
from cold.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a good point.
That is a big thing because you want to make sure you're not going to have many troubles.
Especially if it has a carburetor.
Which depending on the year bike, you are, because it was
if it's got a carburetor.
3 is 03 or 04 was when the Monster 600s became the 620, and it wasn't just 620, it was 620 IE, the fuel injection.
Especially where you live, Jared, because you're starting them cold, like cold.
Yeah.
See, I'm down in Texas. The average daytime high down here is right now at 92.
But think about starting it up first thing in the morning when the sun is just coming up. How cold does it get? How cold does it get in the overnight?
Down to about 75.
In the summer, yes. Mm-hmm. But the riding season is more than just the summer. So you got to think about what are the extremes that you would be comfortable and potentially operating it in, especially because a larger capacity bike like this, like I said, it's going to last you longer even as a beginning rider, which is why I went with the one that I did, because I didn't want to ride it for 3 to 6 months and then be limited by the bike to the point where it's like, one season and sell it. That I went into it knowing I wanted more of an heirloom purchase on this. And that's where knowing and being able to evaluate the bike for all the conditions that you could potentially be riding it in is crucial, which is why the cold start is critical if you can get it. So he's already made the agreement to ride it over. That's one thing. You can hear it, how it sounds as it comes up, which can clue you into things.
And also see if it has fuel injection or a carburetor.
You can tell just by the year alone and the actual model number.
Well, you can just look and see if there's a carburetor on it.
Monsters, so it's a little trickier with the Monster, with the way it's set up, because the actual air intake is tucked up towards the gas tank because of the L-twin. Okay. So it's not as blatantly visible as on a traditional V-twin that's running at about a 40-45 degree angle. This one's at a 90, to where the horizontal cylinder is pretty much pointed at the front tire, and then your upper cylinder is pointed slightly towards the rider. So that intake area is pretty well covered by the bike.
You just described the reason why I don't want a Ducati now. I didn't know they had L-twins.
The L-twin is beautiful. The L.
You wanted Ducati.
So
it's a beautiful, very well riding bike.
So 40-45 degree V-twin engines have a habit of being buzzy, of having a lot of vibration. It's inherent of twin cylinder motorcycle engines. However, because of the 90 degree twin that Ducati uses, that vibration, it's not completely eliminated, but it is massively reduced. And also, because of that increased angle, they get better airflow in and out of the cylinders. Better airflow, better performance.
And a very nice sound. I love the sound of a Ducati.
If I get this, Jared, you're gonna have to come down here and you're gonna have to help me set up a helmet cam so that I can ride and record as well.
Come on, duct tape and a cheapo Chinese.
Because I'm actually probably going to spend the money and go buy a freaking true GoPro current model, probably $400 camera.
Well, when he comes to the Flat Earth Conference, he can, stop by and see you.
Hey, you know what? That
And-
works because I'll be here in November.
Well, and so here's the thing. When I first started the channel, someone had asked about how I was able to get the audio quality as good as I did. So you know what?
I know it
so-
isn't.
so-
I know it's not a cell phone connection.
No. So multiple. Well, now without even writing, I have 2 videos in the shoot that I'm going to end up making this week. It's just a question of which one am I going to release first. Because I have a self-writing analysis because I made a boo-boo recently writing that I'm actually going to talk about because I know why the mistake was made and the result.
We all do that.
Yep. So I can go back and here's the thing. There's another channel that I follow that I've considered sending this clip to have him analyze it and give him the background and the points that I came up with and kind of go that way. And by the way, that guy, former Marine out in San
Yeah.
Diego, and he's
in other words, we're not.
and he's
in
a
other words,
writing
we're not
instructor.
talking about. In other words, we're not talking about shock of God, and Jackass riding his bike, and also doing his vlog that way.
Yeah. No. This guy This guy focuses primarily on proper writing techniques, practice, and training. I mean, he quite literally his phrase on one of the patches that he sells for his channel is quite simply "shut up and practice."
All right, hey folks, I got to get out of here for the night.
All right, Schrodinger, good to talk to you, man.
Thank you, everybody. Hey, Piggy, give me till get 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night.
7 p.m.
It's 8 p.m.
Either
for you,
one.
Piggy.
Just let me try. I've already reached out.
Okay.
This doesn't need to be something that it doesn't need to be. And if I'm wrong, and if I can't work this out, then you're going to get no objection from me, no pushback. Do what you got to do. Just let me try, please.
Okay.
Okay.
So
all right.
So back to the whole thing. Things to look
All right.
for.
Good night, folks.
See you, Kat.
Nice,
See ya.
Yeah.
So things to look for when you're doing the inspection of the bike. Actually, your typical material quality looks that you're going to do on the bike anyways. Make sure nothing is loose. Tires are at least in reasonable condition. Checking the brake rotors. Make sure that you're not seeing any signs of uneven wear.
Bruising,
Yeah. So you have your typical general maintenance stuff. Nothing really specific to Ducati for that in general. Your main questions that are going to be Ducati specific are actually going to be things you ask him to see what he has been doing and how well he has been taking care of it from the build on. And the biggest question that will tell this is, when were the tension belts last replaced?
Something I've been thinking about too. If this guy is someone who likes to tinker himself, check all the screws, all the bolts. Not necessarily for tightness, but look if they look.
Make sure that nothing's missing.
No, yeah, that too. But look at them. Do they look damaged or worn down, or does it look like they've been over tightened, or he's using the wrong tool for the job, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That could be an indicator, at
looking
least.
for strip nuts and bolts. Got that.
That's typical material inspection. But some of the things,
and also bolts that have never been touched too.
Well, no, because there are some that, unless you do a complete strip and rebuild, you're never going to touch as a regular maintainer, unless there is a serious problem. Like honestly, a lot the screws that hold the cylinder head together, Unless
Yeah.
you do a complete strip and rebuild of the engine, you have no reason to touch those.
Well, from the pictures he sent me, it was just the Ducati frame.
Yeah.
There was not one thing that wasn't. It was just pipe tubing.
Okay.
That was it.
It was the trellis frame.
And,
So
yeah, he said that they stripped everything off of it they could, and what they couldn't, he removed the rest of it so that he could go back and put new in.
okay. All right. So you got bonus working for you in that bit, but areas to really pay attention to on the material condition, and this goes for anyone for looking at any bike. We already talked about checking the brake discs for signs of uneven wear.
Yeah.
But also, here's the big thing. Check up around the front sprocket. If he has a solid cover on it, you still should be able to kind of see in and underneath to see how clean, how meticulous is this person in maintaining the bike. How, also, while you're down in that area on a Monster, take a look at the rear shock mounts. How well maintained is that area? Take a look at the shock itself. Are you seeing signs of potential damage on the actual rod of the rear suspension? Same thing with the front. Are there any signs of nicks or damage or anything that could potentially lead to a failed seal on the front forks? Things like this are general for any bike. Also, another thing to consider for this style of bike is check around the fuel filter, the oil filter, the oil cap, and the a bunch of the other fittings for like your nuts, like your wheel axle nuts and everything, for signs of use of safety wire. Because if that bike has been on a racetrack, all of those things would have to have been additionally mechanically secured, typically by safety wire or other additional strapping.
I'd have to see a picture of safety wire to know what safety wire looks like.
Yeah, I think aviation.
Yeah, it literally is twisted wire from a point on the fitting to a hard point on the bike. That way, it cannot come loose. Okay. So the standard oil fill cap on a Ducati engine has a hole for the application of safety wire itself. So that is something you should expect to see. If that hole is not present, I would ask them, hey, I'm noticing this isn't the stock oil cap. Did you have to replace it with an aftermarket, or what's the story there? Because my bike has not been on a track. It still has the stock oil fill cap, and there is a hole on it for safety wire for that reason. Because people can take these bikes to the track, and Ducati knows that. Plus, not to mention homogenization and ease of use of parts across multiple platforms. The oil cap on my bike is the same oil cap on the same year Superbike. So, track ready equipment. It's there. Little details like that to look for.
You think it'd be worth me taking it to the Ducati service technician here and paying the $300 to have him go through everything?
Right now, on initial inspection, no. If you are interested in purchasing the bike, because here's the thing, I don't agree with agreeing to purchase a bike on first sight, or especially first combination. One, like when I bought my bike, I talked with the guy for like 2 weeks before we even scheduled me to take a look at the bike in person. So I had already gotten to talk to him about maintenance habits and everything, which is how I found out that my bike was actually essentially unridden for close to 3 years. Wow. But he was running it and still keeping an eye on it, so it didn't stagnate. but he wasn't riding it like he was before. So it wasn't getting the full work. So I knew, it's like, okay, well, it sat for this long. So the timing belts on a Ducati of that vintage, 7,500 miles. No, 7,500 kilometers is how often those timing belts are supposed to be changed, or every 2 years, whichever comes first. Which is why asking him, hey, when were the timing belts last changed, is a crucial question. If he says they were changed when I built the bike this long ago, if it's right around the 2-year mark, you are going to have to invest right around $1,000 right there off the bat. Because a full service at the dealership with timing belt change, and guaranteed they're going to do a valve clearance check and adjustment, as mine, out of the 4 valves, 3 of them needed to be adjusted. The total cost was just under $1,000 for that maintenance.
Yep.
This is the thing that a lot of people get shied away from Ducati on, is this level of in-depth maintenance, because it is a belt-driven timing, not a chain-driven timing. It can be expensive, but I wanted the first one. Wow. Nice.
What's that? I'm kind of texting my wife right now.
Yep. So it's an image. When he likes Star Wars and you're trying to spice things up in the bedroom, and you have a chick who is, instead of pulling the ponytail back, she pulled all her hair forward in kind of a ponytail, but it's covering her entire face except for her eyes, almost like Chewbacca.
Oh,
Yeah, a balaclava style setup there.
Courtesy of Scientist Mel, by the way.
Nice. So with the timing belts, it going to having the Ducati dealer do the work, yes, it is expect right about $1,000 investment for that work. But if you are mechanically savvy and you want to do it yourself going forward, the materials alone, because here's the thing, they don't just do the belts and that work. They're also going to do a full oil change at that interval. So the mileage interval, it was fork oil, engine filter, hydraulic fluid in both the brake line for the front and rear, hydraulic fluid for the clutch line, because mine, it's not a cable actuated clutch, it's a hydraulic clutch, which I like, I prefer. You don't have to worry about cable tension adjustments on it. And then, of course, the valve clearance check, timing belt change. It really is a very nice in-depth look. So off the bat, I knew whatever Ducati I got, that first maintenance of that level, I'm taking it to a dealership who has more experience to know that, one, it's done right, and if there are any other problems that they typically run into, they will be able to identify it immediately. And then deal with it from there. But going forward now,
you can maintain the bike pretty much yourself.
Yeah, exactly. There are tips and tricks on dealing with the timing belts and the valve clearance checks and everything, but it's not as daunting as I was initially thinking, but it is what it is. Another thing to check is on the older ones, with the way the exhaust is routed, a good inspection of the connection joints and everything, because I think I'm actually starting to get an exhaust leak because it's been louder than I expected.
But hey, loud is good. Unless you're on a Harley chopper that is capable of shattering windows nearby when you jack the accelerator.
Okay, Bo, I wear earplugs when I ride, especially when I know I'm going to be going highway speed, and I can hear an almost double increase on the volume of the exhaust. Yeah,
Wow.
so and it's one of those, before thinking it's something more going on with the exhaust, I want to just my plan actually tomorrow, Saturday, even though nice weather, I'm going to put it up on the stands and without taking the exhaust off, see if I can notice anything. Because there's also the chance that one of the exhaust seals went. Here's a nice thing with those seals. They're $3 a piece.
Yeah.
There are parts and maintenance items on the bike that can be done very cheap on our end, to where you don't have to take it to a mechanic. But it's one of those things. Let's see if there's something else causing it, because there are a couple like check valve locations in the exhaust. And if one of those started to come loose or anything, that would explain it as well. There are a bunch of variables in that. But yeah, checking... the biggest thing, if you can, because it's a naked bike, don't be afraid to poke up around and follow the wiring bundles, make sure nothing's too loose. And also the conditions of a lot of the fuel lines, brake lines, and everything. Biggest typical thing. And also check around the engines for any sign of weeping. That would be like spots that are dirtier than they should be. Like if there's a sensor going into the engine case, if it's darker and dirtier right around there compared to the spots right next to it, chances are that the seal at that plug might need to be redone or even just cleaned up and reseated. Because over time, O-ring seals like that can degrade. It's things like that to look for. Another thing on the tires, check the tread wear to make sure that you're not getting like an uneven wear pattern, which would be signs of either bad tires, old tires, or how he has been riding it, whether he's been beating on it. And also check the date code of the tires to see how old they are, to know how soon you could potentially be looking at replacing the rubber.
Yeah.
And but and that's the thing, and get more information.
I was learning a lot of this when I was having the Grom, and just doing just every pre-trip inspection, every post-trip inspection, just getting the feel of the bike, trying to figure out what I would need to do for maintenance. I mean, I had bought this at Arlington Power Sports, used off of their shelves. It was a trade-in. Somebody wanted a dirt bike instead of a street bike. And, I ended up picking it up for a really good deal. And, it was really weird because the day that I bought it, that bike had not even hit the showroom. I saw him pushing it back, and I was like, that one. And they're like, we haven't even cleared title on that yet. That's the other thing. I haven't cleared title on the Grom yet. I mean, clean title when I bought the Grom. And it's going to have a crushed title when it gets back.
Well, and that is a downfall. That is part of the risk, especially when you have someone like a jackass like that.
Yeah, well, when he's a senior plant floor manager for GM.
Yeah, but still, dude, pay the fuck attention to where you're going.
Oh, he doesn't have to.
Well, now he's quite literally going to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. They, I don't know what they're going to do to my nephew, but yeah. Oh, joy.
But yeah, that's the thing. For an initial inspection on the bike, it's essentially an in-depth pre or post-ride inspection. Or like what you would normally do for a weekly inspection on the bike to begin with. Looking for aftermarket parts, looking to see the quality of the work that he's done. And the biggest thing is the questions like those timing belts and the valve clearance check are the key to finding out how well a Ducati has been maintained.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the interval on the the 2005 and older machines, well, depending on model, 2005 there was a crossover, but so like mine it's the old air-cooled engine, 2005 vintage air-cooled engine and older. Every 2 years or every 6,000 plus miles is when those belts and valve clearances are checked. So with me, it's going to be less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Just because I enjoy riding and I ride a lot. And
Are you planning on riding the Ducati down here to Texas in November?
No.
Aw.
Yeah, I'm not doing that sort of trek on the bike itself. So if I were to bring it with me, I would have probably end up getting renting a U-Haul to truck it down if I were to bring it. But really all depends, because it also depends on how much time I'm going to have for the trip, because school schedule and everything. So if I only have like a couple days in addition to the time there, then it doesn't make sense for me to bring the bike. I'll just fly down.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least you get to hang out with me and Team Skeptic some.
Yeah. But also this the NunCon in October is going to factor in as well.
Non-com.
Yep.
And
NunCon.
it has nothing about to do with nuns.
Well, all depends.
I don't know, man. I saw some of the nuns the other day that were, man, they could get out of that habit real quick, and I'd educate them in the sin of the world.
Question.
Yeah.
High mount, low mount exhaust.
I didn't ask.
You would be able to tell from the pictures. So the high mount exhaust is what I have. The low,
that's where it goes up. That's where it goes up by your inner thigh.
No, so where the actual canisters of the exhaust are up by the tail section.
Okay.
The low mount exhaust for the Monster, the exhaust canisters are mounted below the passenger foot pegs.
Okay. So I'll have to look for that too.
Well, yeah, if he sent you pictures, you'll be able to tell. The
only pictures I saw were on Craigslist, and he had listed the bike like 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, I had scrolled back, and I don't feel like trying to dig Craigslist up when I didn't save the posting. I just texted him and.
Oh, don't worry, I can find it. Do you remember the color?
It was a blue.
Okay.
Which I was planning on stripping it down and painting it a nice maroon, but because there's something about a maroon colored vehicle I just really like.
Which area did it show up in? Dallas?
Dallas. That's what I was looking at. Now, don't ask me. I put in price 1500 and went. That was the maximum price I put in. Since that's what I paid for the Grom.
Dallas Fort Worth for sale, motorcycles. And no, people, I'm not sharing the screen on this one because... Whoa. Let's take a look here. Okay, and you said you put your max price at...
1,500, 1,500.
Alright, there's a Be Careful. I'm not seeing one with, Well,
we'll see if he shows up at midnight. And if he don't show up at midnight, then...
Well, let's just do... Monster at the... No, those are scooters. And that is the Dallas one. Unless he already took the listing down. You know what, let's... Let's...
Archive.org.
Well, no, it generally doesn't catch Craigslist ads.
No.
Let's just do a search for Dallas motorcycles for that price and see what comes up. So I'm seeing Suzuki's, dirt bikes, cruisers. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but also take your own pictures as you're taking a look at it if you can. Just to make sure. And well, that it'll be actually it'll be during movie night that happens.
Yeah. So, and I plan on watching movie night anyway, so I don't have any alcohol, so I can't participate.
Well, you're working, so
yeah.
Probably a good thing for your liver.
I don't know. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed last movie night. I'm not so sure about Terrace. My apologies to Terrace. But...
It was entertaining, to say the least.
I don't think
wet is the word.
I don't think Sidestrike's ever going to let me back on his show.
Yeah, you will.
He will? You sure about that? You don't sound so sure.
He let Pig back on. Come on now.
And hey, I think that he would probably insist that every time somebody says drink, you will only either sniff at the glass or bottle or whatever, or at worst, just take a small zip.
No, there's something
and not chug.
There is something about fuckwit that makes me just drink with every word that man says.
Well, it's fuckwit. There's a reason why we call him fuckwit.
Well, you can't do fuckwit when I'm on the show. Dang it! I'd love to be on. I'd love to be on tonight because there's a chance of Hovind the Elder.
Yeah. Well, I'm fed up. Well, okay. Eric is the worst of them. Kent, okay, fair enough. But I'm pretty much done with the Hovindians. But hey, at least they're way better to go through than any of Silly Juice.
Bo. See, now I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. I stole a Bible specifically for the next time that Hovind the Elder or Hovind the Younger ended up on Sidestrike on movie night.
Well, you don't you have it on your phone?
I've got it on my phone. I've got it on my computer, and I stole one.
Okay. Well, hey, I've got both the Bible and the Quran.
Actually, it wasn't.
You give it that respect. The Quran on my phone.
But you really can't consider. You can't really consider this Bible stolen since it was abandoned property.
Tomato.
No, it was left. It was left on my nephew's front porch. They called Amazon to come pick it up because it was misaddressed.
And they never did?
They never showed up for it. It sat there for 5 months.
Well, in that case, it's totally fair game.
Yeah.
As far as
The
I'm
way that I
concerned.
look at it, is that if Amazon didn't come get the package after they notified Amazon, this is supposed to go to another city, same street address, different city.
Yeah. Well,
and
but, hey,
they didn't.
for Denmark.
So they put the wrong address on it.
No, they put the wrong city on it. It was the right street address, wrong city.
If it happens in Denmark and it's the state-run postal service, if somebody delivers a letter or a package or whatever to an address where the name on the letter, etc., is not on on the address, that there is the right address, but there's no name on the letterbox or whatever. It's actually enough to get that person fired if he does it more than once. But regardless of that, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's diamonds, as far as I can remember. If somebody leaves something in your mailbox, etc., that doesn't make you think that this is stolen goods. You get a letter and it's just not addressed to you. It's not your problem that it wasn't supposed to be for you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it has your name on it and somebody else tried to troll you, for example, tried to get you hooked on a very expensive subscription.
Holy water or holy water or
anointed water, from Peter Puffer.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking worse stuff. I mean, I have gotten a subscription for Guinness Book of World Records once. I didn't pay for that.
Oh.
I didn't order it, but they kept coming. But hey, I didn't order it, so they can go fuck themselves. It's not my problem that they have they can't that they can't verify that it's actually me ordering it. Not my problem.
Yeah, the U.S. is under our under unsolicited mail regulations. If something's addressed to you, it's yours.
Yeah.
Even if they put the wrong address on it.
And what if somebody puts something in your mailbox that is not addressed to you, either because just the name is wrong or name and address is wrong?
If it was delivered, if it was put in your mailbox, but it's not actually addressed to you, then it's not yours.
Yeah.
No. So you're legally obligated to do something about it?
You don't do anything with it. Like, you don't have to, you're not obligated to pay any shipping to do any stuff like that. But
that's why return to sender is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are you obligated by law to either try and contact the sender or leave it at the post office?
The only legal obligation in that instance is do not fucking open it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, after we contacted the sender and asked because it was a FedEx delivery, we contacted the sender and said, hey, look, FedEx dropped this off at the wrong address. And they tried for 3 months to get FedEx, to get Amazon to send FedEx back out to pick the package up and get it to the rightful owner. And they didn't do it. And we finally called Amazon and we were like, look, we don't want this sitting on the front porch for the rest of the time we own the house. And they were pretty much just like throw it away. We've already reshipped the item to the original purchaser. So
there was a time I actually something kept coming to my mailbox. It was supposed to go to a different address. It was addressed right, delivering it to my mailbox for no reason. But the address was 2 blocks away, so I didn't deliver it because I got tired of the wrong address and then picking up and then delivering it back to the mailbox again. Ridiculous.
Well, hey, if it's a one deal thing, yeah, sure. If it's close by, I don't mind, delivering it to the right address. I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah.
But if it's a regular thing, it is for the same address every time. I'll get tired of it.
Yeah, that's where it's like, there's a problem here. You need to fix your shit.
Yeah. So when Amazon said, you know what, just keep the package, I was like, what was it? And my niece was like, oh, it's still sitting out there. I'm like, what is it? She goes, it's a Bible. I was like, oh, cool, something I can use to debunk the Hovens. I open it up. I open it up, and it's one of those newfangled, weird print. So many verses a day for a year to read through the Bible.
No, thank you.
Study versions. But
Well,
it does say, but in place of, I will give this Bible credit. In place of the dome or the firmament, it says the sky.
Oh, so
Now,
it's,
I would say that
it's a proper translation.
It's a proper translation in that respect.
Yeah, I would say though, not that I, for my own enjoyment, so to speak, it's not that I want to read it, just because it's fun to read, but I would like to have a copy of the Jehovah's Witnesses' own version of the Bible, because as far as I can understand, it has been heavily edited, really heavily edited. I would like to have that.
Edited, altered, and scorned.
Yeah. But then again, the Bible, any version of the Bible is just that already, but just just over a very long period of time. But apart from all that, it's always a great advantage to use a digital Bible instead of a physical Bible, because you can look stuff up really quickly. And even better, who wants to remember the sequence of the different books in the Bible? If you want to find something, who wants to remember the sequence? Nope. Just flick it. It just you just set it to what do you call it? Sorted alphabetically instead. It's so much easier.
Or if it's electronic and you have the PDF search feature, Alt F and put in the terminology.
Yep. I mean, I've got I can't remember what it's called right now, but it has served me well. Not just for deluded people on the internet, but also for discussions with my family.
Who did the flat Earth video on Nathan Thompson, where he was holding his cell phone and trying to show where the moon was behind him?
Wasn't Sly and Sean doing something with that at one point?
Yeah, it was Sly. I think it was Sly and Sean doing that. But anyway, Nathan Thompson listed a verse out of Matthew, and he completely missed the first part of the verse. Now, the verse as he quoted it, the moon shall not shine forth her light. But he missed some very key perspective there, because in the first part of it, it says that the sun shall go dark, and then the moon shall not shine forth her light. What happens first? The sun goes out.
It's almost.
But the problem is that
imagine that Christ is the one who said this verse, not originally, but he did say it because he was quoting from Isaiah.
Yeah, but there's a big problem with all of this because there's so many different versions of the Bible. So when people do quote from the Bible, it's very important, really important, to ask them to tell you which version that you're using.
With that one, it's those words and that order have been very, very specific and consistent through the translation.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one of the few that has actually not been as manipulated. At least that phrasing.
Until the flurfers got a hold of it.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
But you'd think a perfectly written and entirely literal book wouldn't have any translation issues at all, ever.
Well,
Yeah.
the problem is, and it goes back to what the Brothers Grimm discovered, is that
People are gullible.
Well,
Mhm.
no, it goes more to the way that the languages change throughout time and history, and understand that for almost 1,000 years, Hebrew was a dead language. It was
Yep.
deader than freaking
Latin.
Latin.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean that's one of the reasons why the different versions of the Bible you can find are that different. But when you get someone, for example, like my youngest big brother, who in defense of me asking, well, how can I even trust the Bible? There are so many different versions of them. I mean, some of the versions completely neglect to mention the horror, it downplays it very much. In terms, for example, how you should murder your children if they're unruly. It just gets downplayed very much in one version than another. He just says, well, the fact that there are that many different versions of it and they're that different from each other just makes it even more truthful. That's the kind
I've heard that
of
argument before.
ignorance.
Because I've heard,
that's the
I've,
kind of
I've also heard that. I've also heard that counter. Okay, do you know the two most perfectly translated religion or books in history? Do you know what they are?
The
two
Kama
most
Sutra?
perfectly. The what?
The Kama Sutra?
Okay, that's number one. What's number two?
Bhagavad Gita?
Nope.
No?
Nope. It's written in Arabic. And Bo, you've got a copy of it.
Well, no, that's just a different version of the Torah.
Okay.
The Quran is just a different. No, not Torah. Not not the Torah.
No,
I mean, the Bible. Sorry, the Old Testament. It's a different. The Quran is a different version of the Old Testament, and parts of the New Testament as well, because Jesus is in the Quran, but he's only a prophet in there, or a disciple.
Yeah.
No, one of the prophets, I think.
He's a prophet. He's a prophet of Allah whose followers got drunk and decided to make him a god. That was what Muhammad said.
Yeah, but it is true that the Quran does not have a bazillion different translations to it, or rewrites, I should say,
but
like the Bible has.
Language, but what makes it perfectly capable of being translated perfectly is that it only has one origin language, whereas the Bible has 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it has been written over how many years?
Well, it was compiled. Well, first it was compiled to written form from an oral tradition. Not
like some of the languages, like it's coming from different languages that aren't even in and being languages that aren't even in the same families.
And then you have that on top of it.
I'm pretty sure there's at least a couple of occasions where it went from one language to another, back to the original, and changed in the process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Paul would have done that because he was schooled in 2 different languages. Actually 3. He was schooled in Greek, Latin, and knew Aramaic because his parents were Jewish, and at the time they would have been speaking Aramaic, not
Hebrew
or Arabic. They would have been speaking the bastardization of Hebrew and Arabic, which was Aramaic.
Well, top it off, like the Greek, the portions of the Bible that came from Greek weren't even written in classical Greek. They were written in Koine Greek, Common Greek.
Yeah.
Well, because it was really seen as for the common person, so the higher thinking Greeks really didn't give much credence to it other than, oh, this is an interesting idea you have. But Space Comma does have it right. The Quran has as many rewrites as languages it's translated into, which is rare.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, I think once I was trying to find something from the Quran before I downloaded it to my phone on the internet. I couldn't find a Danish version for it. It took some time to find an English version of it, and it made no sense whatsoever. The Quran is a horrible, what do you call that? Just in the way it's written. It's horrible because it is not written sequentially. It's not written in any chronological sense.
Yeah, it's not a chronological time telling. It's a stream of consciousness one.
Yeah. So so in terms of reading it, and I hate using this word because many Christians use this word to as a defense for everything, basically. But the Quran, you cannot read the Quran and understand the context unless you read the whole damn thing and you remember everything you've read about it so far.
Yeah.
It's it's a nasty book to go through. I have set the goal at some point to actually read it, but not looking forward to it.
I dared to try to sit down and read the Quran. I'll never try it again. I'd rather sit down and read the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, I mean, they were at least creative with their shit.
Well, I mean,
dum 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 dum.
You can say what you will about John Smith, but or was it Joseph Smith? I forgot which one it was.
Yeah, Joseph
Smith. Yeah.
Joseph. Yeah. You say what you want about Joseph Smith, but you can definitely read the Book of Mormon and tell he was truly a madman.
Well, no, he was a con man. He got it started, and the one who really has more of the authorship of what is the modern Book of Mormon is actually Brigham Young.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why they named their university after him.
Uh-huh. Well, look at it. I mean, he gunned down half the damn followers of Mormonism to begin with to get Salt Lake City to be basically their capital.
Yeah, there
was a huge war out there over it. I mean, murders.
And they wanted a state larger than what they got, and they wanted to call it Deseret.
Yep.
Instead, they got screwed over with Utah.
Yeah, because of Nevada.
Yeah, one time we can actually agree that the U.S. government did something good in that instance.
Yeah, they also were held up from it because of their practice of polygamy at the time.
What do you mean at the time? They're still practicing.
No.
Not
Mormonism.
Not officially.
Not openly.
Well, there are some communities that are open about it, but they are in the major minority, and the official recognized head of the Church of Latter-day Saints does not condone polygamy as they used to.
Right.
Yep. The reason for that is because the Congress at the time said, no, we are not going to allow you to enter the country as a state until you stop doing this practice. And for a long time, they were like, no, we're not going to give this up. Only then did it. Oh, sorry. I got interested in a Steve McRae video. He's live right now.
Me personally, I don't have a problem with polygamy or polyamory as long as it's actually a good relationship.
In other words, it is a non-brainwashing related
entirely consensual on all sides.
Yeah, which it is not in many cases, I would imagine.
Yeah, no,
it's years of brainwashing.
Look at William in the chat there.
Book of Mormon in television form, Battlestar Galactica.
Oh,
should have saved that for yesterday or for tomorrow.
Yeah, really. Are you doing another Star Trek video anytime soon, Jared?
Second Saturday of the month.
Ah. Well, see, that's the bad thing is that I'm going to HamCon tomorrow.
Well,
What con?
it is in the afternoon that we're doing the show. Early evening.
HamCon though is the ARRL Southwest Regional meeting, and it's held up here in
okay, just a
Plano.
Is it just a what do you guys call it in the U.S.?
It's a big amateur radio convention.
Yeah, well, yeah, big. Yeah, I know how big Hamvention is, and it's certainly not as big as that one. But yeah, But yeah,
no, nothing.
No, I was thinking about a boot sale or something.
No, this is actual amateur radio operators getting together and selling their junk radios.
Yeah, boot sale. But it's just on the yeah. What size is it in relation to Dayton Convention then? A 10th or a 5th or? Because that's the only reference I have.
It'll probably be about a 5th this year.
Oh, okay. That's a decent size though.
Well, I mean, but you're talking, 500, 600 hams go through the doors, each day.
Nerding
2 days it's open. Yeah. Oh yeah, when I was younger, I used to walk around that place with a permanent radio mast in my pants.
I went to Dayton, the Dayton Convention in 2007. I know. Yeah. It's funny to see that guy with the weird tall hat every year with a webcam, I think it is. A live stream cam every single time. I like that guy.
Hey, Jared, I sent you a screenshot of the picture you requested on Discord.
Yep, I'm heading over there now.
Okay. Guys, it kind of feels like I need to reset my brain until we start in half an hour or something.
Yeah, I can.
And get some breakfast too.
So my first guess was right. It got cut off.
Yeah. I mean, you can make sense of it from it being cut off, but yeah.
No, not really, because honestly, the part that got cut off was really crucial because it really was one of those. That's why I had a difficult time with that screenshot you sent, but with the full context of it, oh yeah, and that's exactly it. It doesn't stop there.
Yeah. Well, that smaller one that I sent you before, I sent that one.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they're like, why don't they speak up when any left-leaning voices are silenced on the platforms? It's like, because most of them are not, and when they are, it's because they actually did something stupid
to warrant the ad.
Yeah. So,
well, hey, Jared, what I need to get done is I need to find somebody that can animate my spirit plant.
Isn't that what a massage parlor is for?
No. You forgot my meme about my spirit plant. Me finding my spirit plant.
Oh, that one. Cactus.
Yes. I need somebody to animate that where it just raises the middle finger up.
If you have a good enough computer, download Blender and start trying to learn how it works.
Speaking of that,
it's a bitch to learn, but it's really good and it's completely free.
Bo, do me a favor and send me a link to Blender. That way I'll have it. Send it to me on Discord.
Yeah, sure.
What do you want? A cactus sticking up its middle finger?
No, I've got that. I've already got that image. I just want it animated where it raises the middle finger instead of it just being stuck up.
And speaking of that, I have a nice little page here. Skillshare.
Oh yeah, that too.
Skillshare's nice. I'm trying to find more Blender lessons on it, but I found a few.
It's kind of few and far between because most everybody focuses on Adobe.
Yeah, I find a lot of Adobe 3D Max and
what was the other one I saw on here? It
was the other one?
Procreate.
Yeah. which is a great name for a program, but
wait a second. I was like, wait a second. Now, is that one trying to breed itself out? You know, I mean,
Here, like I said, it is called Procreate, and for very, very apt spelling.
because I can't imagine throwing together a cactus would be all that hard.
Well, we already have the picture. It's just cropping it out and then having the animation lift it up.
yeah.
Here, give me a
I'll be
second. I'll
back.
pull up the picture.
All right, I'll be back in a second. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go get some coffee.
Where did I share that at?
Yeah. Guys, I'm going to tap out.
All right, later, Bo.
Hi, baby.
Let's see. Oh, dumbass! You're how old are you? Oh yeah, you're younger than I am.
Yeah, but I'm not the one that's going to take a break.
Yeah, because you're the younger and the elder. Ooh, I almost fucked up. I'm the older one. Fuck.
He's the younger and the older. Time paradox.
I almost said
It-
something that would put
it's a
me in the same booth
Hovineception.
as Hovind. Ugh.
Here you go, Blitz.
Oh.
This is the picture we're talking about.
Oh, maybe we could get in touch with the guy who made the animations for Kent's theme song for Logic.
Okay.
I don't know if it was Logic that ordered it, but he was allowed to use it anyway. But
Tall are cactuses.
they can get pretty damn tall, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But I shouldn't be talking about that because I've never. No, I have seen one on Malta.
Oh no, 4 to 5 meters is not uncommon.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. See you guys.
Later. Whee. It actually is getting to a good time to where, yay, I can heat up something to eat before movie night. Because I literally woke up and then joined the panel and opened up all the programs to go live minutes before going on air.
Yeah, don't join movie night with an empty stomach.
Yeah, that could be bad. I could have a night like you wished.
Oh, what's Shu doing now?
That shoe on head?
Yes, on Twitter.
She's an interesting one.
Well, she's taking on the Dr. Pizza guy in tweet form.
Oh boy. Which,
Yeah.
knowing her, she's probably going to end up making a video about it.
Going through old tweets of that journo who just got arrested for attempting to go F children, screaming my ass off. This is how I spent my Friday night. Thanks to @MomBot for the last screenshot. And it shows a whole bunch of random tweets from this guy. And then it shows him doing one, oh, hell, pretty old. At Torn, F lolling at the child molester. And then what's this one? Oh, this year, April this year. Unlike the president, I don't force myself on women that aren't interested. This is all tweets from Dr. Pizza.
Oh boy. Well, if you guys want to have fun with that before movie night, go have fun on Twitter. In the meantime, I'm going to get food and...
God damn it! I just got back.
Well, look at the time. Just look at the time.
Well, I can't see my laptop when it's on the floorboard of my car right now.
It's about that. You should have a clock in the car.
No, my clock is freaking broke.
Well, it's at least right twice of the day.
My clock looks like my bank account. It's broke.
Ah. All right. Well, it's been fun. As some of you may have heard, yes, tomorrow is the next installment of Kanar with Damar. And in the middle and meantime, go over to Size Strike because movie night is going to start in about an hour. I mean, in about 45 minutes. I mean, it's supposed to start in 35 minutes, but we'll see if that actually happens.
It'll start when it starts.
We'll find out if Bible meeting ends on time tonight or not.
It'll start in like an hour-ish.
Oh, William Signs, I am tempted. I have some. I am tempted to do just that. But I'm going to go see what else there is. So with that, good night all.
Jared, send me a